What we need to do is have a look and see what they've got lined up for us tonight. It is a tape show tonight, so spoilers are out there, so definitely be careful of spoilers. It should be a case that we've got the official No, there isn't. I was going to say it should be the case that we've got the official preview up for NXT. Let's click on... Oh, yeah, there it is. I found it. It wasn't in its usual place, but I found it. So here is... Bang, bang, bang. The preview for NXT. So, Javon Evans and Ricky Saints do battle. Ethan Page defends the NXT North American Championship against TNA's Moose. Jacy Jayne takes on Wren Sinclair in non-title action. And Joe Hendry holds a New Year's Eve concert. We saw him do a concert, didn't we, the other day on SmackDown. So he looks like we've got another Joe Hendry concert. So, okay. We've got what looks to be an interesting show. Jacy against Wren could be really good. Obviously, that is building towards New Year's Evil with Jacy taking on Kendall. Kendall winning that Iron Survivor match, winning an opportunity. Moose and Ethan, that could be interesting. I mean, honestly, I don't think Ethan is going to be in NXT all that long. I mean, is there an opportunity for Moose to become the NXT North American champion? I don't think he will. I think Ethan will retain, but Moose has got to have a chance. I mean, someone of his caliber, got to think he's got a chance. And Ethan, he's going to be up in 2026. Maybe not until after Mania. I don't know if they've got anything this side of Mania for him, but he's going to find his way to the main roster. Javon and Ricky set to do battle. I mean, that'll just be a great match. Ricky certainly knows how to carry his end of the bargain. Javon, such a showman. And Javon pretty much on the main roster now. Again, Ricky... 2026 call up. You know, could it be that Ricky and Ethan both come up after WrestleMania? It's going to be a lot to lose, though, isn't it? I mean, they're losing Oba, they're losing Trick, they're losing Javon. Streets are saying that Sol Ruka's going as well. But this is what NXT's for. It is to produce talent, get them ready for the main roster so that they can go on and kill it on the main roster. So, yeah, not a bad looking card, honestly. I think that's interesting. That's not for me, but many of you enjoy Joe Hendry's concerts, so fine. Not a bad looking card. Should be okay. I've avoided spoilers as well, so I have no idea. I'm not interested as to who wins or whatever. I'd much rather just find out by watching it. So, I don't know any of the results. Hannah said, Daze, your accomplishment this year. Best heel run on YouTube. Best wrestling scoop. I did have the best wrestling scoop, that's true. You defied the authority parents to see AJ Lee's return live. Shout out to you, Hannah. Shout out to you. Asib, hello. Said, Daze, do we think it's kind of difficult for WWE to turn Randy heel? I'm guessing the fans would cheer him no matter what. WWE would have to do something huge to make us hate him, like when he was a heel in 2020. I agree with that. I agree. I think the fans love Randy, but if he was to attack Cody, I think that you would find a lot of the kids and a lot of the live crowds would turn on Randy. So I think the live reactions, I mean, we know the live reactions and the live crowds are not always in sync with what we think at home. I think a really good example of that is Cody getting cheered up until WrestleMania, and then at WrestleMania and the go home, all of a sudden Cody was being booed out the building. And the reason for that was because, of course, a lot of hardcore fans want to go to WrestleMania. You know, it's the grandest stage of them all. So you start to get a lot more fans that watch on a weekly, regular basis. When WWE is in your town, you know, you might watch and you might have a passing interest. You might watch once in a while, but, you know, should we go along to that? It's one of those that, like, if you're into it, you're like, yeah, I quite fancy that. I quite fancy going to the wrestling. I mean, you don't need to be the biggest fan to, like, go. You can be, like, and there's a lot of parents that take their kids that have no idea what's going on. So, you know, comparing a smart crowd, an internet wrestling crowd that watch everything, consume everything, to parents that haven't got a flipping clue what they're doing, they're just taking their kids along. There's a real difference. I mean, this is why when Bruce says the people he listens to the most is the live crowd, I think that is understandable, because he's like, why am I going to listen to someone online that doesn't buy a ticket? Why am I going to listen to someone that doesn't, you know, kind of contribute, if you will, financially? I'm going to listen to those that have actually bought a ticket. My concern with that, though, is a lot of people buy tickets for their kids because their kids love Jey Uso. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter if Jey Uso sucks in the ring. It doesn't matter if Jey Uso runs it back and we all get annoyed about it. There's going to be kids out there that are just going to love him whatever he does. And so the parents buy the tickets, they go with the kids. The parents just cheer Jey Uso because they know their kids love him. And all of a sudden what you've got is you've got families of people cheering Jey when a lot of people online are getting frustrated, running it back and hearing the yeet. And like, this is where you get that disconnect. And this is where, you know, Cody gets cheered. And then we get to WrestleMania and the smart fans come out that, you know, a lot have decided, oh, Cody's not for me. I'm bored of his run. The creative's not been good. He's not a very good champion, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden he starts getting booed. But then they go away again and then it goes back to cheers. So it's one of those where there is a disconnect between, like, the live... I mean, like, again, Karrion Kross. All I saw under loads of posts was, we want Karrion. We want Karrion. There was no doubt in my mind that there was going to be loud "We want Karrion" chants. At SummerSlam, there was "We want Kross" chants from that crowd. You know, Triple H is at that press conference thing after, doing the post-show. And the crowd behind him are chanting, "We want Kross. We want Kross." And he turns around and goes, "You want Brock? You've got him." And it's like, no, they were chanting, "We want Kross." And then, of course, not long after that, he gets let go. And there's no doubt, is there? There's no doubt. There's going to be loud chants. There's going to be signs. It's going to be loud. It's going to be a big movement. And there was nothing. There was one guy that had to post a video saying, "I'm sorry, guys, I tried," but no one was joining in. There was a guy that was trying to chant "We want Kross" that had a sign. And he had to post an apology video online after. He was like, "Guys, I tried, but people just were not joining in." And it was, and then we were like, okay, well, that was because it was, like, you know, Canada, and it was a French-speaking part of Canada, right? It'll be different when we go on the European tour, because we were just going to do a few shows in Europe, and then we go over there. I think we come to the UK or whatever, or I can't remember where we went, but it was in Europe, because I remember us saying we're going over to Europe not long after, and then there was nothing there either. And it was like, there is this disconnect between the live crowds and what you can read online. This is why the IWC has, like, its own label, because the IWC is, you know, a percentage of wrestling fans, but it does not extend always to the live shows. And sometimes there's crossover. I mean, I remember Daniel Bryan being massively over, and, you know, he was crazy over on TV and he was crazy over online. The whole that was something that everyone was on board with. We Want Cody thing was pretty big online and in the arenas. There was, towards the end, a real rise in We Want Rock, which some people might forget as time goes by. But actually, at WrestleMania 40, in the run into that, there was a whole "We Want Cody" movement over a one weekend in particular. By the time we got to Monday morning, "We Want Rock" had really risen up. So even with the "We Want Cody," there was a very strong "We Want Rock" movement. So yeah, in regards to Randy, I think you can do it. It's not impossible. Is it hard? Yeah, I think it's hard. It's going to be hard to get people to boo Randy Orton. I think the live crowd would go for it, because if you present Randy as a heel, you got a lot of kids that are going to, oh, I shouldn't have done that. That'll start booing him. If you turn on Cody or something like that, you turn on Jay, basically the old classic bad person, heel, beating up good person, baby face. Kids are going to go for it. It's sometimes us more bitter older people that, kind of go, I'm not bothered. I don't care if I'm meant to cheer that person or boo that person. I'm going to do what I want to do. Yeah. But kids, by and large, will pretty much go along the lines you want them to go. Cheer the heels and boo the cheer the baby faces and boo the heels. So it'd be difficult, but 2020 is not that long ago. 5 years ago. It's not that long ago. Randy was loved then as well, and we can find a way of getting him over as a heel. Not everyone would buy it though. I mean, look at Drew right now. Drew's a heel. But you got a lot of people saying that he should be champ and he's right with the things that he says. There is corruption, all that kind of stuff. But, for me, he's a heel. So, you kind of look at that and go, well, not everyone's going to be, vibing with it. There'll be plenty of people, certainly online, that would side with Randy if he feuded with Cody. I feel like online you'd have a lot of people rooting for Randy, but I think in the live arenas it would probably work the way that you wanted it to. So that's an interesting just disconnect between the two. Someone was just talking about Cross there. I just read Cross, which I thought was interesting. I want the righteous and Cross, said Edwards. We Want Cross was just an online thing, said Glockness. Yeah, it was loud though. It was loud. It was really loud. I think that I was surprised that didn't cross over more. I was really surprised that didn't cross over more, because it was like in the comments of all the videos, and it was really loud. It was so loud that I thought, well, there's got to be some people from the IWC that go, even if the kids are not, reading online posts, and so they're not going thinking of carrying. There's got to be some people that are. So I really thought it's only going to take a few of them to get it going, and then I'm sure the kids will join in, and I'm sure it just didn't work. It just didn't happen. Weird. I still don't get that, to be honest. I still don't understand how it never translated. I'm sure even Carrion is a bit kind of scratching his head at it. I remember Carrion saying he was really worried about this movement and how fragile it felt. Very fragile. I wonder if he understood that it was very strong online, but actually in arenas it wasn't as strong. But there was times where We Want Cross was in the arenas. There was times where he would do an interview with Byron or Kathy Kelly up during a commercial break, and the crowd would see that and they would start chanting We Want Cross. So it was in the arenas at that point, but as soon as he got let go, it just seemed that seemed to go with him. It was very strange. That's one that I can't fully explain, honestly. How it was, I understand that it was largely online and it did not go to the arenas. But then I do look at times where he was being interviewed and fans would then start chanting it. Or I look at SummerSlam where fans were chanting it at Triple H. You've got to think some of those people, some internet people would go to these shows and would try. And there was just that one guy that put a video out and he was like, sorry guys, I tried. No one joined it. So that was a weird, talking of weird things that happened this year. I'd put that down as a bit of a weird thing that happened this year. The We Want Cross movement just completely just not showing itself. after he got let go. And actually, Karrion getting let go, I would put down as a weird thing, because I think a lot of us looked at him and saw great potential. He had some of the best social media presence. He's tall, he's jacked, he's got Scarlett by his side, he's got a great entrance. I really think, you know, and I'm not just saying this, I really think they knew that they wanted to do Aleister Black and Zelina Vega as, you know, the way they've presented them. I mean, if you look at what Aleister and Zelina are doing now, it is very Karrion and Scarlett. Very Karrion and Scarlett. And I would not be shocked to find out that there had been a conversation which was, well, we don't need both. We don't need Aleister and Zelina doing what they're doing. We don't need Karrion and Scarlett doing the exact same thing. And we've literally just re-signed Aleister. So, you know, with Karrion and Scarlett's contracts coming up, it just makes sense that we kind of part ways with them. And what we would have done with them, we just do with Aleister and Zelina instead. That's one of the only things I can think. Unless he has upset people backstage. But every time I've heard interviews with Karrion, his version of events is always very understandable and pleasant. Like, you know, he went up to someone to check, have I upset anyone? And they were like, no. Or if he did, like, you know, he'd go and speak to Triple H and be like, look, it's not the way that it is. You know, that promo that he did during WrestleMania, where he kind of, you know, blurred the lines. That was because a producer asked him to do that. So he did that. And then apparently Triple H was not crazy about it. So he had to go and explain, no, I was asked to do this by such and such. I didn't just go into, you know, work for myself. I didn't just do it off my own bat. So, you know, I don't think that misunderstanding is the reason. I think, for me, I think there is something in the Aleister Zelina thing. If you look at the presentation now, WWE would have known that was coming and that was in the pipeline. So, yeah, I don't know. That would be an interesting video, actually. 10 weird things that happened in 2025. I'm going to jot that down because I'm trying to get like more interesting fun videos on the channel. I think that would be a really good one. I'd have to give some real thoughts to that. That could be a real good one to get some feedback on, actually. Let me close it. Junkwax said, Daze, thanks for a great year. Junkwax, shout out to you, my friends. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to everyone that's joined us. I'm really looking forward to next year. I keep saying that this year, or not this year, but the past week or two has been a bit messy. I'll be the first to say that. It's been a bit messy, right? But, here we go. Weird moments. 2025, we want cross. That could be a good video. In regards to these past few weeks, it's been a bit strange. I mean, it's really strange for me to have people around the house, and the 25th and 28th, two very close days together, we've had people round. So obviously that's took a bit of prep work and everything. So I just feel really out of sync. I feel like I've been away on holiday for a while. That's how it feels, even though I've not really been away much. I just feel like I've been having to focus on other stuff, and I don't normally do that. So yeah, I feel a bit weird. I gotta be honest. I'm using this week to catch back up, and I'm really looking forward to next Monday, because I feel like next Monday is a big show. And I feel like next Monday is going to be that kind of we're back. I feel like that's going to be we're back, not just for the channel, even though it's not gone away anywhere. But I will have caught up by that point, back up. But I think it's like we're back for WWE. I think a lot of people are really looking at next Monday's Raw and really putting their hopes on it as being like a big relaunch, you know, refresh, kind of let's go. I'm really hoping that it delivers that. I'm really hoping that that's what it achieves. So yeah, very much looking forward to next Monday. Very excited for that show. I don't know about next Friday or Friday coming. I'm not sure what SmackDown has got for us. It's a live show, isn't it? I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be good, bad, or what. My expectations going to be low. I'm just focused on Monday, next Monday, as being like, let's go. We know that match card is looking pretty good. Shining Wizard said back when it was Vince, he had performers who he really didn't like, but he was smart enough to give them a job because they made dollars. Triple H seems to take things a bit more personally. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I mean, I look at like the way that he brought back CM Punk. I mean, don't forget, it was Triple H that brought Karrion back. So Vince got rid of Karrion, and then Triple H brought Karrion back. Now, I don't know why that didn't work. Karrion ended up going again. And I don't know. I mean, hence why I would include it in a weird video, because it's weird. Why bring him back and then not really do much with him? I mean, he has obviously the odd match, whatever, and gets into a group with Final Testament. And then, you know, I mean, what did he do in 2026? I mean, we didn't really have much for him. Do you remember he was hanging around in the background of like AJ Styles segments and all that kind of stuff? I mean, honestly, there was the theory, wasn't there, about how he was turning people heel and whatever. That was one of my least favorite theories, to be honest, because I didn't believe that they were doing that. And the reason why I didn't believe they were doing that is because if you look at his booking, he couldn't even get on TV. Like, he wasn't even getting opportunity to have matches and feuds. So why did people believe that they were booking him to like turn people that he was facing? And there was also gaps as well. There was also like times that he'd face people and they hadn't turned, you know? And then there was times where there was people saying, well, he did face such and such briefly in the Rumble. It's like, come on, you're reaching, man. You are reaching. That was a theory that, to me, I just didn't believe in it. I'm just like, if they're going to do that kind of level of work for someone where they've got the ability to turn them heel, then they would book them a lot better than they're booking them right now. And I think, to be honest, people really took to that theory. They liked it. They thought it was interesting. I didn't believe in it. And I think people thought that he was maybe being used, or they had bigger plans for him than they ever did. I don't think there was anything in that theory. I think there was times where he faced people, and just by coincidence, some of them turned heel afterwards, not long after. But there was times where he faced people and they didn't turn heel after. So then you have people trying to make that work. Like, I remember he faced Ray, and Ray's not turned heel. But people were like, no, but he did finally turn on Dominic. And it was like, yeah, because Dominic slapped his mom. And that was the moment where Ray turned around and went, no, you've gone too far now. That had nothing to do with Karrion. All of a sudden, Karrion was starting to get given credit for other feuds and other things that had happened. It was, you know, it was nothing to do with apparently Dominic slapping his mom and overstepping the mark. It was Karrion. Karrion had changed Dominic, changed Ray, and it was like, nah, man, come on. So I think some people kind of got it into their heads that something bigger was going on when it wasn't. And if you actually look at how they booked Karrion in 2026, it was really poor. There was nothing. He was just in the background teasing things and then not actually delivering on anything. And then he gets into that feud with Sammy, and it felt like that was going to go somewhere. Their matches, though, were not good. I don't know what happened with those matches. Those matches were not very good. I know there was Karrion fans trying to tell me that they were, but I'm a Sammy fan, and I'll sit here and tell you they were not good. So that whole thing of where they just didn't really have much for Karrion. I mean, maybe they made their mind up a long time ago. Perhaps they made their mind up last year. We're done. He's done. We're not carrying on. This is done. I don't know, because there was just next to nothing for him in 2026. It's weird. I don't understand it. I think he's really good. I really like him. I think that his promos were excellent. His social media work was excellent. His understanding of character and to actually give us something more three-dimensional, I thought was really interesting. I wonder if WWE has a little bit of an issue with people that try to provide their own type of creative as well. I don't know. I mean, I look at Bray and the struggles Bray had. Yeah, I mean, he ended up losing his job. That was when Vince was there. But then I look at Karrion, who also I think is someone that puts a lot of thought into his character. And he's lost his job. Chelsea puts a lot of thought into hers, and she is doing great. So, I don't know. I don't know that there is something to that, but it's just weird, isn't it? Hence why if I was to do a weird video, one of them would be based on Karrion. One of the moments would be all about Karrion, because I think a lot of us are still scratching our heads around what that was about. James, Daze, hope you're well. And you, buds. Very disappointing night tonight. 1-1 against Wolves. Oh, do you know, I didn't even see. I haven't seen any of the football results. Got up and literally was working on members. I had to do that thing as well. Where is it? Wrestle Feud questions are up. I need your help, right? I did not get these done yesterday. And normally the majority of our feedbacks come from the Raw stream. So I am literally starting at 0. That means that we need to get 100 feedbacks during this NXT stream in order for us to be able to play the game. So, yeah, if you are watching and you've not clicked on the Wrestle Feud questions thing, click on it. It's just a questionnaire. I don't get any of your kind of details or anything. It's just a questionnaire. I don't even think it asks you to put in your email address or anything. I think it is literally just a link to a questionnaire. It's one that I've put together myself. It's not any third party or anything. I've put it together myself. And it is literally 6 questions. And I can even tell you what the questions are. The questions are... Where's my feedback form? The questions are... Oh, okay, we're doing all right, actually. We've had 25 responses, which is quite good. So, big thank you to the members, because I did just put this on the members. I don't know who's responded. It doesn't give me that. It just says 25 responses. So, what male wrestler is going to have a breakout year in 2026? Who's going to have a breakout year? Yeah. What female wrestler is going to have a breakout year? Who will retire AJ Styles? Who was the best tag team in 2025? What is the best looking championship currently being used? All of these WWE related. And who has got the best entrance in 2025? Again, all of them WWE related. You can involve NXT if you want, no problem. So who's got the best entrance? What's the best looking championship? Who was the best tag team? Who's going to retire AJ Styles? Who's going to have a breakout year for the women? And who's going to have a breakout year for the men? So those are the questions. And what I'll do is ask a couple of members those questions, and we'll have your answers as the answers, the most popular answers, whatever. It's a bit like Family Feud. And yeah, I'm hoping to get those out early next year. I've been doing it for a few months now, and I've edited a fair few. So I'm still just doing them every other week. So need a bit of help with that. Normally, I like to get about 100 responses. Just over 100. We're on 25. So yeah, James, I didn't see the result of that game. Who was in our lineup? He's playing a new formation, isn't he? He's doing this 4-2-3-1 thing. Yeah, I mean, honestly, when you look at that lineup, you're like, oof. Xerxes, Dorgu as quite far forwards, Casemiro, Ugarte. That back line should be okay, though. Heaven, Martinez, Shaw, Dallo. I've never been a fan of Dallo. Lamens in goal. Yeah, really disappointing. Really disappointing. We should definitely be getting more out of that. Yeah, I hadn't seen that. Benny said, Daze, I'm starting to think Vince was better at booking in his prime than Triple H. If you look at how many years he held the position, he had 2 awesome eras. I think he had more than 2. Triple H is still figuring what era he is in. Do you agree? I think it's too hard to judge, to be honest with you. I think what I would say is, if you want to look at all of Vince's time and pick out the best parts, then Triple H is going to struggle. If you want to look at the fact Vince took over in 83, was it? 82, 83, Vince took over. So when did Triple H take over? Say 22. And we're out now in 25. So a different way of looking at it. What was Vince doing between 1982 and 1985? Now, 85 is the first ever WrestleMania, but what was Vince doing between 82 and 85? Because that's how you can compare to what Triple H is doing. Because if Triple H took over in 2022, we've now just completed 2025. So is it not a fairer comparison to go, okay, let's compare Triple H's start to Vince's starts, and let's see how they compare. And honestly, I mean, what Vince was doing in that time period is he was getting wrestlers from territories. He was building up to WrestleMania. And in 85, he does the first WrestleMania. 84, he brings Hogan back, of course. And, you know, he's kind of doing that sort of work. So, you know, it just shows, doesn't it, how much time Vince was in charge for and how much can change. I mean, imagine someone saying in 85, Vince sucks. Like, this is no good. This is dull. Like, I'm not feeling this, yeah? I mean, if you got rid of Vince in 85, you wouldn't have really the rest of Hulkamania. You wouldn't have had the Attitude Era. You wouldn't have had Ruthless Aggression. You wouldn't have had, like, the cool Daniel Bryan stuff, the Undertaker streak. Like, all of that follows. I think people, you know, in this day and age, people don't think that way. They just look at the best moments of Vince and they compare it to what Triple H has done so far, and they're like, Vince was better. But I don't see how you can do that. I don't see how you can look over what was a 40-year career and compare it to someone that's been doing it like 3 years. When you look at it a different way and you go, okay, what did Vince do in those first few years of his run? You know, what would Vince have been? How well would Vince have been remembered if he got fired at the end of 1985? I mean, he would be remembered for bringing Hogan back, and he would be remembered for starting WrestleMania, and that would be it. And that would be great. I mean, those are big things, 2 big things. But a lot of the stuff that people remember Vince for was well after that. Well after it. So, you know, if Triple H got fired now, what would he be remembered for? Well, in the short term, probably a very disappointing final year for Cena and a disappointing 2025. But you got to say that the peak Bloodline years were under Triple H. I mean, Sammy says Vince did not want Sammy to really be a part of Bloodline. Sammy was knocking on the door and having a word with the Usos about trying to get in, but the Usos weren't really letting him in. to see Roman. That was when Vince was booking. When Triple H took over, Triple H was the one that then allowed Sammy to start being in the bloodline for real. And that's where we're starting to get Usi, and that's where we're getting Honorary Uce, and that's where we're getting Sammy turning on Roman, and, you know, all of that stuff. That's Triple H. So that, to me, is my favourite part of the bloodline story. So I would actually say peak bloodline is Triple H. And if you look at the quality of, okay, not this year's WrestleMania, but WrestleMania 38, WrestleMania 39, WrestleMania 40, really strong. Really strong. I think 36 was obviously a disaster because it was at the Performance Center. 37 is underwhelming because, you know, still in the pandemic. We did get fans to that one, though. But, you know, at least 38, 39, 40, they're really good WrestleManias. A lot of people would have them up there as being amongst their favorites. People really, really love those WrestleManias. And, you know, you got to say that Triple H gets credit. Certainly 39, 40. And 40. I mean, the Cody Rhodes finishing his story. I mean, that is right up there with being like peak WrestleMania moments, you know? Plus, we've seen, you know, great development with the women and, you know, Rhea Ripley really coming into her own. I think that Triple H has done some really good stuff. People have forgotten how good 23, 24 was. I mean, the reason 25 sucks is because it's not as good as 23 and 24. And those are both Triple H years. You go back 12 months, Triple H is being heralded as God's gift to book him. You know, he's winning Booker of the Year and everyone's like celebrating how amazing it is. And we're breaking attendance records and everything's cooking. Everything's great. Tony Khan could never. And now you have a bad year and it's like, he's a disaster. He's a clown. He needs to get out. He's rubbish. And all this stuff. So, I don't know, man. I got a real different perspective on it, to be honest with you. I think that he is someone that's had a bad year. I don't think it's, you know, going to be very good if he has another bad year. But, I mean, I would point to 94, 95 as being two really bad years for Vince. I'd point to 2019, 2020. I mean, maybe that's pandemic related, but I'd point to some periods in Vince's time as being like bad and, you know, flat. Well, I still don't think 2025 was as bad as 2019. I think 2019 was way worse than 2025. So I think I think this is where the honeymoon period officially ended, was 2025. That's what I would say. I'd say the honeymoon period for Triple H is over. A lot of goodwill that's been built up is gone. And I think this is why 2026 needs to be a much improved year for him. Otherwise, that pressure is just going to build and build and build. But think about Katie Vick, you know? Think about the fact they built up Booker T and still had him lose at WrestleMania. Think of the underwhelming way that they use Sting. Like, think about, like, some of the stuff that's aged really badly from the Attitude Era. Like, there's loads of rubbish, cringe nonsense, toilet humor rubbish that Vince did. Vince had to come out and basically say to people, we know we're letting you down. And the McMahon family, like, apologized. They had everyone come out to the ring and, like, apologize for how bad the product was, and we're going to do better. And then nothing changed. And everyone was like, I thought they were meant to be improving this. They haven't got a clue. It's so funny how we go through that and rose-tinted glasses kind of come in, I think. And I think people kind of look back on that and just remember the good times. And they sort of, if you're going through a bad time, then history looks a lot better because you just remember the moments you loved. If you're going through a good time, then you look back and go, oh, it was never this good. So, you know, when we were going through 23, 24, people were looking back going, this is so much better than Vince. And then you go through 2025 and people are like, God, we need Vince back. It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. It's a bad year. It was not a very good year. That's what I would say. I think the healthy way to look at it is Vince had good moments. He had bad moments. He had moments that completely redefined pro wrestling, like starting WrestleMania, starting up the Rumble, even though the Rumble was not his idea. And, you know, getting behind Stone Cold, and really embracing the Attitude Era, and, you know, him himself becoming a character, and, you know, everything that came of that, the Undertaker streak, which again was not planned. They stumbled upon it. Doesn't matter. They still did it. And it was amazing. The Undertaker character was his idea. So, you know, you've got all these things that you can praise him for, but then you can find lots of stuff like Katie Vickers, we said, that, or, you know, Mohammed Hassan, the flipping terrorist. There's things that you can criticize him for as well. And so it's a mixed bag. I mean, there are plenty of Raws and SmackDowns throughout Vince's time that are atrocious. So it's a mixed bag. And I think what's happening is that Triple H has took over. There was this expectation he was going to kill it. I think he did a really good job at first. I think that honeymoon period is over. And so now we focus on 2026. I'll tell you what, though. People are down on Triple H. So now I don't know how he's going to turn this around, because he's really going to have to do some big things, some shocking things, some interesting things to really get people back on side again. If things are just okay, I think there'll still be criticism. It feels like there needs to be something, you know, something that's going to really... We need a new Bloodline story. We need a really juicy story that's got a good run in it. We need something that's not just going to be a good week or two. We need something that's going to really take us through 2026. He was very fortunate, actually, that he had John Cena's retirement year, because that was something that would go through all of 2025. And I wonder if he looks back on that now with regrets. I don't think he would, because I think you learn very early in wrestling to not look back. I think in pro wrestling, you kind of know not to really look back, look forward, keep going forward. If you mess something up, improve it tomorrow. You kind of have to have that ability, because there's so much content being made. I don't even know if you've got time to look back. I don't even know if you've got chance. You've got to just keep moving forward, keep going, keep improving, right? That didn't work. What can we learn from it? How do we tweak it? How do we make that better? What are we doing tomorrow? Tomorrow. It's a bit like WrestleMania. You do WrestleMania. You don't get a chance to sit there and analyze it and break it down. I mean, he said, like, literally a few moments after that main event ends, someone is handing him the script for the next Raw, the next night. And it's like, on we go to Raw. And the show moves on. There is not that opportunity to... I mean, you can sit down and, you know, go through things. You can find time to do that during the week, but you need time as well to be looking forward. What comes next is always going to be more important than what happened. So I think you learn quite quickly not to look backwards, but he does need to learn some lessons from this year. There's definitely things that were wrong, but I think there's been lessons that have been learned, because we are spending a lot more time backstage with the Vision now. Past few weeks, we've spent way more time in their locker room than we have at any other point during their creation. So I think that's been a lesson learned. Going round Drew's house, Drew attacking Cody on his bus, you know, I would say that's been a positive. Okay, the tsunami on top of the car has been done before, so it's not new. But, you know, again, it's something which is not a promo and not a match. You know, it's a tsunami on a car in the parking lot that they delivered to LA Knight. If that had not been done before, then that would be great. It's just a shame we've done that one before. But, you know, that was something as well. We're calling up some NXT talent, and we're actually getting Oba and all of this. Rumors of Jericho coming in. So I'm optimistic that lessons have been learned. I'm optimistic we're bringing in some fresh bloods. I'm optimistic that we've moved the European tour, which was in the wrong position. I'm optimistic that we can have a better year. So yeah, there's definitely a lot to kind of get some optimism about, but he does need to find some pretty juicy. Well, I don't know why he doesn't just do heel Randy, babyface Cody. I mean, I feel like that is a feud that's got so much. I mean, I would do that if I don't have The Rock available. Then I would do that because I think that's one of Cody's most personal stories. And I would really make it personal as well. And I would get both Cody and Randy in the office. And I'd be like, I want to do some stuff that's really personal. I want to do some stuff that's going to really have an impact. What can we do? What can we do? How can we make this personal? What have you need to tell me, because I don't know like the experiences you guys have had. I don't know the gifts that you have exchanged, or what is meaningful like in your relationship. Like, is there anything that you've given each other in the past we can use? I mean, I don't want to go down the CM Punk friendship bracelet type road, but is there something which Cody has been given by Randy when they were together, and legacy and all of that we can break? Or even if there isn't, obviously we wouldn't break the real thing, but could we create something? I don't want to be going around houses again, and the bus thing has kind of been done, so we're starting to tick a few things off now. So what else can we do? Both of them have got wrestling fathers. It's going to be hard to not mention them. Obviously, Cowboy Bob Orton and Dusty Rhodes, got to think they're going to feature at some point. Real shame that you can't have Ted DiBiase involved. That would be brilliant. Imagine if Ted DiBiase was available, the other member of Legacy, and he could be special guest referee, and he could be torn between them. And that would be really interesting. But you can't, because he's caught up in all legal stuff, isn't he? So, I mean, you can't, unfortunately. But that's the kind of thing I'm talking about, where it's something different, an interesting story. I think that would be quite useful, because that'd be a good build for Mania. And you can sort of end it at Mania, but you can have them move on to other stuff, maybe bring them back around. I think that's something that's got legs to it. It's got to be one of Cody's most personal feuds, that. Because I think Randy and John were like the two most important people in Cody's life. He faced John twice. I don't know that I would do it at Mania and SummerSlam, though. But yeah, something like that. So, I don't know. You need something big. You need something that's going to have plenty of creative that you can draw from it. I actually think they're doing not a bad job with the Drew one, honestly, with all the stuff we just listed. I think that's really hitting its stride now. I would actually say this is one of the best Cody feuds that he's had ever as champion. In fact, it might be number one. I might put this over the Kevin Owens one, which I would have at 2. I think the Drew feud might be 1, Kevin Owens at number 2. The Cena one is quite important, but that WrestleMania match sucks, and the build for Mania was not very good. And the build for SummerSlam was a bit flat as well, to be honest. But it was an important one, so it probably needs mentioning. But, a lot of the criticism for Cody was that a lot of the other stuff he did was very uncreative. But actually, I think what we're doing with Drew is actually quite good at the moment. But anyway, a lot of thoughts in there. I like the current United States title design. That looks awesome, says Keegan. Big Time said, I really enjoy the NXT Year Awards, but I do wonder if it's rigged. WWE puts out polls because fan favourites that barely did enough in 2025 can get a lot of votes. I don't know. I don't know if it's rigged or not. That's never been revealed. I don't even think the talent know, actually, if it's rigged or not. I think it would be very easy to rig. I mean, they don't publish the results anywhere as far as I know, and even if they did, could you trust they're real? It's a great way of just giving someone recognition that, you know, you feel like they need it. Plus also, it's not costing you anything if you just vote online. I think if you rig something that you charge people for, that can have and should have serious repercussions. I don't know if you rig something that's just free to vote on a website and it doesn't cost you anything. Obviously, back in the day when you used to have to phone, there would be a charge. And that is that, you know, rigging that, which I think they did actually do some rigging, but of things, different polls and whatnot. But you know, that it sucks. But if they were to rig this, then I wouldn't be as mad about it, to be honest, because it's just free to vote in anyway. And if they do rig it, I would just know, don't bother, don't bother voting. It doesn't change anything. But yeah, maybe they do. I don't think they do. I've never heard that they do, but they could get away with rigging it quite easily. William said, if I entered NXT and I wanted to have an impact, I'm going to try and work an angle where I walk down during a women's match and I lay a huge smacker of a kiss on whoever wins the match, and then I'm just going to walk out. William, that sounds like a dream. James said, talking of Cross, he's done an interview with Sean on Fightful 9 hours ago. Oh, interesting. I wonder what he's saying. I'll have to try and check that out. I need to do that. I need to try and catch up, and there's loads I need to catch up with. Robert said, Daze, do we think Theory's new theme? I like it. New presentation, like it, hate it, like it. I haven't heard the start of it. Again, people were saying the beginning was a bit strange. I'm not hearing it in my head, to be honest. But there is a vocal line that's quite uplifting and makes it sound very big. And there's always a couple of things I picture with new themes. I always picture, how's that going to sound when it hits during the Rumble? Right, which is why the start of it is very interesting. You know, with Romans, the into the choir is amazing, right? Because you just like, you know, 3, 2, 1. I mean, amazing, yeah. Or Stone Cold. Like, I always think like the start of it is really important because that's the moment that's going to hit during a Rumble, and or if someone's coming to make a save, the music's going to hit and it's going to be like, if you smell, do you know what I mean? So that's why people say in the start being a bit weird, I need to go back and listen to. But there is another way of looking at it, and that is WrestleMania, as someone is making their way down quite late at night, right? Maybe head into the ring for the main event or a key match later on in the show, and it means something, yeah. Not just like coming down because there's a ladder match or something like this, right? Or some multi-person tag match. But I'm talking a proper singles match, title on the line, something meaningful. How does it sound? And I think with Theories, when you're in the song, as I said, it sounds really big, and it's got this really uplifting big vocal line that just sounds like it belongs at WrestleMania to me. And I really like it, yeah. It's a thumbs up. I'm not saying it's like the greatest theme I've ever heard or anything like that, but you know, is it a thumbs up or is it a thumbs down? I mean, from what I've heard, other than the intro, which I cannot recall, because to be honest, I remember hearing it and I remember going, is this a new theme? This sounds different. So I wasn't really analysing it. I was more trying to figure out, is this new? Because most of the time, when there's something like this, my head is constantly trying to work out if it's new or not. It was like with Bron Breakker standing in that spotlight when the Vision came out. I'm looking at it, trying to figure out, have I seen this before? Have they done this before? Because I'm just mentally ready for someone going, no, they've been doing this months. So I'm like, I don't remember this. Like, I'm sure this is new. And unfortunately, whilst I'm doing that, I'm also missing part of it, you know, rather than just watching it. But I'm just so adamant that someone's going to turn around and go, no, they did this last week. They did this at Survivor Series. They did this, blah, blah, blah. So I'm really having to try and figure out, is it new? Is it not new? So the start of theories, I was trying to work out if it was new or not. But I like it. Those are the two kind of mental, quick things. I mean, first of all, you just naturally can listen to it and know if you like it or not. That's easy. Anyone can listen to a song and know if they like it or not on a first listen. But the other kind of wrestling checks I do are the intro. How's it going to sound during a rumble? How's it going to sound during a run-in? And then when you're in the song, how's it going to sound when you're coming down at WrestleMania for a key match or SummerSlam? And it's a big match, you know? Is it gonna be big enough to fit that stage? You know, him walking down that long ramp at WrestleMania, yeah? Is the music gonna sound big? Is it gonna translate? So I always kind of think of those, and I thought on the second one it killed it. I thought it nailed it, yeah. So I do like it. And actually, you know, again, slightly different presentation with him kind of, I think, facing his back to the audience, staring at us in a bit of a spotlight. I think he was even talking to the camera a little bit. And then, like, spinning around, going down to the ring. I don't think there was too much change there. I think he's always done some sort of variation of that. But I think with the spotlight, it was a bit more focused. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it. The only thing is, my initial reaction to his character is, and I do agree with a comment I saw online about this, he feels like a bit of a goofy babyface. He feels, not goofy is maybe not the right word, but he's a fun-loving babyface. We've seen him in The Way in NXT where he was, you know, fun. And he was a fun character. He was a fun guy. And he would kind of get a bit confused and whatever, but he's a nice guy. He's a good person, and I think you've got, like, that's how I've always seen him. And so him trying to be a heel feels a little bit forced. And so him coming into the Vision, I said the other week the way I would have done it is I would have had him backstage, kind of down on his luck, and I would have had Braun and I would have had Bronson see him and be like, "How's it going, Theory? You know? What are you up to?" And kind of show him, why don't you join with us? You know, show him a way out of the pit of depression that he's in. But the downside is you're going to have to sell your soul to do it, really. You know, you're going to have to be a heel. You're going to have to do heel things. And I think inside he is a good person. So I would have gone to it that way, and I would have had him doing things for them, like, you know, cheating in matches, helping out, because there isn't an alternative. He's down on his luck. And you know, you go down that simple road of he lets them down, they shout at him, he has matches, he loses, they get upset with him, blah, 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 blah. And then eventually he breaks out as a babyface, which is what I think he should be. And we're off, yeah, as this red-hot babyface. Tried and tested. We've done that loads of times. It always works, or most of the time works. And I think it would work here. They're not doing that. They're actually doing something a little different, which is he went to them and was like, I got too comfortable, you know? I mean, I'm just going to take now. And we are making him an absolute bona fide heel. There is no light in there. There is no goofiness. This is just a bona fide heel. Which is a bit difficult to buy at first when we've seen the character being what he has been in A-Town Down and Under, you know. goofing around with Grayson Waller, and before that, goofing around in the way in NXT. So it's a bit difficult to just buy him as this no-nonsense straight... It's a bit like Maxine Dupree. All of a sudden now, apparently, she's flipping Khabib. All of a sudden, she's flipping John Jones. And, you know, this is the girl that was hanging around Alpha Academy. So, you know, it's a real change of direction. It's a real swerve. And so, yeah, I mean, it's just a bit difficult to sort of buy it. But I actually thought he did well yesterday. I like the new theme. The match with Ray was not that long, which was a shame. The problem you're going to have, though, is there's not much humour in the Vision. I think Sammy really brought some humour to the Bloodline, and I really thought Theory would do that. If you're going to present him as being such a heel, you're not going to get much humour in the Vision. I think that's going to be a real shame. So, I don't know. There's definitely going to be some challenges. I don't know if they've made the right decision. I'm interested to see if it works. I think it could. I don't know where the humour comes from. I think if you've just got loads of people in a group being serious, that's okay, but you do need a bit of light and dark. You do need a little bit of shade. You do need a bit of grey area and whatnot to make it interesting. So we'll have to see how they book it and how it goes. So, yeah. Lots to kind of digest with Austin Theory, but interesting. I'm on board, let's put it that way. I certainly don't think that it's going wrong or anything. It's maybe not the direction I would have gone, but there's many times that that's happened and it's ended up working well. Sometimes it doesn't. But, yeah, no, I'm interested. I'm on board. I'm really interested. I really, really like Austin Theory. I don't know what it is, but there is this goodwill that I have to him. There's this, I'm rooting for him. He's got a connection with me, and I don't know how he's got it. I don't know when it showed itself. I mean, I think it's because I really enjoyed his work in The Way. And I think it's like, I see how jacked he is. And I see that he's a kid. I look at him as being a youngster. I look at him as being someone that hasn't worked it out, you know? He's someone that's he looks like he's got the tools. I mean, he's got the physique and, you know, he's an attractive guy, and there is absolutely no reason as to why you can't be a multiple-time world champion. It's like, has he got the promo skills? Has he got the match quality? If he can get the promo skills and the match quality, I can't see he would be unstoppable. He would be unstoppable if he has the promo skills and the match quality. And I know that those are two massive things. But I don't know about you, but I always think, like, if I was a kid and I started in wrestling and I just did nothing but that, every day I'm learning wrestling. Every day I'm doing promo class. Every day I'm working. I really, really believe that I would get there. I genuinely believe I would. I think that, not because I'm anything special or anything like that, but I just believe that hard work pays. That is something I really believe in. I believe hard work pays. So I think that if you put that work in, then you're going to get the results. So he's got this likability, this natural likability about him. If he does put that work in, and he clearly puts work into the gym, so if he can put that same effort into his promos and into his matches, he's going to be unstoppable. And I think you look at him and like, I had high hopes for him and it's just not worked. And because it's not worked, you're like, come on, mate. You've won the lottery of life, you know? You are in WWE. You look amazing. You've got the look, right? You've got the size and the physique to get you to that main event. You could be a multiple-time champion. But you got ate alive by John Cena in that promo exchange. Match quality-wise, you tell me the great Austin Theory matches from the main roster, because I can't even think of one, right? I'm sure there's been one somewhere, but I can't think of it. And to be honest, I mean, we don't really see him that much. A-Town Down Under didn't really get that many opportunities, did they? So I feel like it's been ages since we've seen him. So this is now, what an opportunity he's got now. He's in the Vision. He's going to get matches. He's going to get promo time. He's got to deliver. I mean, when he said yesterday his whole career has led to this moment, that could not be more true. You are at the dance. It is time to dance. And I hope that, you know, the work, anything he's been doing throughout his career is now going to show itself and really pay off. Sink or swim. And I'm really rooting for him. He's got this likability about him that I find myself really wanting him to succeed. I think I'm not going to be as dramatic as saying we need this to work, right? Because there's lots of great talent that's coming through. But could you imagine if this does work and Austin Theory clicks and he is the next big thing and he is someone that's going to be around the top end of the card, main event in WrestleMania, main event in SummerSlam. Whether he gets to that level, I don't know. I'm just saying, imagine if he does. You know, there's a lot of people out there worried about the future of WWE, saying, where's the next Roman? Where's the next Cody? Where's the next CM Punk? You know, I think Theory has got the look and the opportunity to take one of those spots. He could be the next... I don't want to say Seth Rollins, because I don't think he's got that kind of a wrestling ability at the moment. But I think he's still like 28. He's still really young. And maybe we brought him in too early. I mean, perhaps he needed a bit more seasoning on the indie circuit. And perhaps, you know, we've brought him in too early and actually stalled his career a little bit. Because rather than doing the indie circuit and learning, he's been shoved in A-Town Down Under and just not really used. So I wonder if we've actually hurt him a little bit by bringing him in to WWE and bringing into the system and him not having those kind of opportunities to develop. But you gotta make your own opportunities. You know, you've got to be going the PC. You've got to be doing promos. I mean, you're getting paid so well. If you're on the main roster, you're on hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. I mean, you are being paid so well. You're getting on TV, which is being seen around the world. There is no excuse. There is no excuse for you not putting in the work. So I'm sure he is. I'm not saying he isn't. But I'm just saying, if you do, I'm a big believer that if you do, you should get the result. And if he's going to PC and is not progressing, go to somewhere else. There's no shame in going to flipping, I don't know, the Nightmare Factory. Mix it up. Go there. See what, you know, the trainers there can kind of, you know, what have they got? What can they show you? Do a tour. Go to Black and Blue, which I think is Seth's training school. Go to Nightmare Factory for a little bit. Go to the dungeon with Tyson, Kidd, and Natalia. Go to the PC and do a little bit of work there. You know, see if you can spend some time. I don't know what other places there are, to be honest. I mean, there's a lot, actually, if you think of WWE ID. There's a lot of indie promotions that are under ID contracts. Why not go and see what they can, you know, show you? I mean, you've got to do that work, haven't you? You've got to do that work. Just trying to learn whilst getting Raw, like, you know, once a week on Raw. I just don't know how that works. I would love to know what the developmental system is like now for main roster. Because back in the day, you used to work Raw and you used to do house shows. And you used to do like 100 odd dates a year. You used to have 100 odd matches a year. You know, now a lot of people do Raw, and I mean, we don't do that many house shows now. We do like tours of Europe, or we might go to Australia, or we might do a holiday tour. I mean, I think the person that had the most matches this year was LA Knight, and he had about 60. And that was the most. That was the most. So if Theory is not taking it upon himself to go to these extra places, and he's just hoping he can do all the learning he needs to do with the segments he gets on TV, his development is going to slow down. You know, what some people would have learned in a year, it's probably going to take him 3. Because people were getting 100-odd matches a year back in the day. If you're only getting 30-odd now, it's going to take you 3 years to get the same amount of matches and the same amount of time as it would, like, for those back in the day that they were doing in 1 year. So your development slows to a snail's pace. So you gotta find a way of, like, putting that work in, developing. Just because WWE don't have an expectation of needing you for Saturday and Sunday doesn't mean that you should have Saturday and Sunday off. So, yeah, I don't know. I would be very interested. I mean, I'm sure they do. No doubt he hits the gym. But you can always improve your promos. You can always improve your match quality. There are so many places that you can go. You're not hurting for money. You know, it's not like he can't afford to go and pay and flip him, get someone to come around. If you've got like a ring as well, get someone round yours if you don't want to travel for a bit, and have someone come around once a week and just run some drills. That side of it, we have no idea, obviously, as to what people are doing. Cody Roman. Cody won the Rumble. He had a choice who to face. The Rock can't just come in and just force himself in the main event scene, said Sean. Yeah, that was a big thing, wasn't it? The whole "we want Cody" thing the other year. "We want Rock" thing. I was on the "we want Cody" side, but there was a healthy amount. I mean, The Rock's a massive star. So, you know, there's plenty of people that were like, Cody can step to the side for a year, it's fine. If we've got the opportunity to have The Rock, then, you know, we should take it. And actually, some people might still stand by that because, you know, there's no sign of us getting The Rock next year either. So, you know, are we ever going to get Rock Roman? Was the opportunity to Rock Roman that 1 year and we didn't take it? You know, if that is the case, people, I think, will forever debate what WrestleMania 40 should have been. It's hard to be down on what we got, though, because what we got was amazing. What we got was fantastic. So, but it will be a real shame if we don't ever get Rock Roman. That is a match we should definitely get at some point. Shining Wizard said, if you think about it, we're going into 2026 and it's still Roman, Cody, Punk, Orton, Styles, Rock, Drew. Come on, said Shining Wizards. Yeah, I think it's hard, though. I think it's hard to build people. I think building people takes a good few years. So, you know, Gunther, I think, is getting there. And I think he'll be kind of up to that level. I think we tried and failed with Jay. You know, if Jay had been world champ this year and it had worked and he was still around that title picture rather than being back in the tag division, you know, he might have been able to have took that step up to being WWE champion. So, you know, I look at Gunther and I'm like, that's gone well. Okay. Granted, a few missteps this year, but I think that's gone pretty well. And I look at, you know, it certainly feels like he's going to be in the mix next year. I look at Jay. And that one, I think, didn't work out. I look at Damian Priest. I think that one didn't work out. So there was a couple there that we tried. Drew is, you know, kind of back around. I don't mind that. You know, he's someone that I think people want to see get opportunity. I don't think people necessarily feel tired of him getting opportunity. I think they're actually frustrated that he, you know, there's a lot of people that want him to be champ. So that one, I don't know. Roman, it's hard, isn't it? Because he's such a big star. He's like the biggest star. So CM Punk, you know, maybe some people are seeing a bit of a backlash too. Don't know. CM Punk, I think people want him to have a run with the title, but I don't know if people are looking for him to be kind of around that championship for the next few years. I think there is a real appetite growing of people wanting to see some fresh names up there. I mean, obviously, the most obvious one outside of what we mentioned is Bron Breakker. They're clearly trying to get him up there as well. So I think there is an effort to get people up there, but it's not just a case of throwing them there and just hoping that it works. I mean, I would argue that's what we did with Damian Priest, and it didn't work. You've kind of got to build. You need to build them up. You need to, tell everyone this guy is going to be the guy. You need to pay attention to this person. You need everyone to be on the same page with, or try and get as many people on the same page as, like, okay, yeah, Bron Breakker, I think we all know he's going to be a world heavyweight champ. They keep telling us this is a multiple-time WrestleMania main eventer. And I think they want that to be the case, but I think they need buy-in from the fans. They need us to buy into it, because if they put him there and we just don't care, it ain't going to work. If they put him there and we just don't engage in the segments, we don't buy the tickets, we don't want to see him, we're not believing in it, we're not buying it, that experiment will fail and we will have to move on to someone else. So this is why it takes time, because you're having to convince people this guy's a star. You need to, wow. It's a little bit like when you've got something that maybe your dog's not too interested in. Sometimes if I try to give my dog a bone and, like, it'd rather have something else, I have to go, wow, pretend to eat it myself. Ooh, this is lovely. Wow. And then when I go to give it back again, she takes it out my hand. We're doing that with Bron Breakker right now. We're kind of going to the fans going, wow, have you seen this? Main eventer. Whoa, it's going to be a big star. Yeah, you want it, don't you? You can't have it yet. You can't have it. You want it, though. Oh, you can't have it. So we're doing that with Bron Breakker. But you have to do that kind of thing to build up the star power, to try and convince people that, this person is the guy. And that's what they're trying to do with Bron. And that process just takes time. So I think they are trying. I can see, I think we would have done more work with Jacob if he hadn't been injured recently. I mean, he would have been in the Survivor Series War Games match. And I think they like him a lot. So I could see us move him with Jacob quite quick. I can see, I don't know how quick we move with Oba, but they see him as a future main eventer. So he might not get to a World Heavyweight Championship in 2026, but I think he's going to have some big moments, and he's going to be in some really big aura type defining moments. He's going to be, I mean, he's got it. I mean, when he came out at Saturday night's main event, I think everyone took notice. So Oba, there's a lot of potential there. Bron Breakker, Gunther. Whether they'll go back to Jay, maybe try, him being a heel or something. I could see something there. So, yeah, there's people that are coming through. I am not worried about the top end of the card, honestly. If we, for some reason, lost Cody, Roman, Punk in quite quick succession, there would need to be a little bit of a build-in periods. I mean, we don't have another Roman that can just step in, right? But I think there are people like Gunther, like Oba, like Bron Breakker, like Trick Williams, like Austin Theory eventually, that can kind of go into those positions. LA Knight is really over as well. I mean, there's plenty of people that would be quite happy to see him be World Heavyweight Champ. I mean, you could put the World Heavyweight Championship on LA Knight, and, I think people would be willing to give that a go. So, you could make the argument that you've got him there or thereabouts as well. The problem you've got is, we don't have that Roman Reigns yet. We have not got that next Roman. I mean, it's Cody at the moment. But, we know Cody's not going to be around for, he'll be around 3 years or so. Whether he'll be around 5 years, I'm not sure. So, bottom line is, there is time to build people, but we need to build people. And they are doing it. Jacob, Bron, Gunther, Oba. There are people that are coming through. Big Time said, why do you think we've fallen in a situation where so many title reigns are up and down? Main roster has fallen flat and has oversaturation of having too many titles caused this? Why do we think we've fallen where so many title reigns are up and down? I think title reigns have always been up and down. I think that's always been largely the case. I mean, I think that taking tag titles, mid-card titles out of the equation, because I would say that's always been the case. There's always been, like, I mean, if think about the British Bulldog when he won the Intercontinental in 1992, that run after was rubbish. I mean, the match is remembered, but the run after is flat. There's nothing meaningful that kind of comes after that for the Bulldog. And actually, he doesn't even have it that long, does he? I mean, by the time we get to Survivor Series, I think Shawn has got the belt already. So between SummerSlam 92 and Bulldog main eventing that show and Survivor Series, like, Bulldog loses the belt. And I can't remember anything meaningful from that run. So there's loads. You can find tons of examples of title runs in the mid-card and in the tag division that are just whatever. You can find loads of examples at the top of the card as well. I mean, in the Attitude Era, the belt was changing hands on a much more regular basis. So the Attitude Era, things weren't up and down. They were just constantly changing. I mean, we were getting like 5-6 champs a year. So I don't know. I mean, you can look at the Attitude Era, and were many of those runs very meaningful? Because they weren't sticking around very long during the Attitude Era as champs. So I would say, if you look at this year or past couple of years, we've took some chances on people with the World Heavyweight title, like Damian, like Gunther, like Jay. I mean, I don't think the Gunther run was that great when he wins the title at SummerSlam going into this year, losing it to Jay. I mean, there was some decent matches. It was okay, but I don't think it was that amazing. I think the Damian run was a bit flat. I remember him feuding a lot with Drew and, Punk just getting involved a lot. And I don't think Damian really felt like a world champion. He didn't have enough aura. He didn't have enough star power. We hadn't built him up. I mean, just being a guy in Judgment Day. And, there just wasn't enough there. I don't think the build was right. So that didn't work. Jay, I think they were really excited by it. The numbers were saying that he was worth a go. But I think Jay has got limitations as a performer. I think that he is someone that is a free spirit, shall we say. I think he is someone that likes to party. I think he's someone that, likes his personal life. I think he's someone that I don't know that he can carry the weight of the responsibility of what being a champion is. I mean, being a champion is sticking around and doing meet and greets and, afterwards doing loads of sign-ins and getting up early the next morning to do chat show appearances. And there's a whole extra responsibility that comes with being the champ, one of the champs. Those kind of talk shows. And how are you going to conduct yourself on those talk shows as well? I mean, you need to be funny. You need to be, likable, approachable, relatable. You've got to, if you think about Roman on Jimmy Fallon or Cody Rhodes on Jimmy Fallon, I mean, you can visualize it and you can see the kind of chat they're going to have. Can you imagine Jay on Jimmy Fallon? I mean, in my mind, it's going to be a car crash. In my mind, he's going to start thoughts. He's going to lose track of himself. He's probably going to have had a drink. He's, in my mind, it's just not going to work. And I think that was a barrier, I think. His match quality in singles as well has been a real concern. He's a tag wrestler that's always been a tag wrestler that works well in a tag team where he can come in, do work, get out, have a breather, come back in, do work, tag match, a couple of tag moves together, working well, knows loads of spots, but again, carrying the weight of everything on your shoulders. You're coming to the ring at WrestleMania on your own. You know, everyone's waiting for your match. People have bought the pay-per-view to watch you, to see if you can do it. Like, that is an extra weight that you just don't have in the tag division, do you? There ain't too many people buying pay-per-views to see the tag teams. I mean, I like tag wrestling when it's really, really good, but most of the time WWE doesn't massively invest in it. So the tag division is just a side attraction. I mean, to go from that to World Heavyweight Championships is such a jump. It's such a jump. It's huge. I mean, you're talking about being somewhere on the card, probably mid-card, low opening, near the opening, whatever, to be in like the main event in some regard, right? And so, and then having all that extra responsibility, that's a big ask. It's a big change. And I don't think it's unfair to, you know, go, I think he's worth a try. The kids love him. Merch is doing really well. Google searches are great. It's really fun. People love the yeet-in. Hey, let's give him a go. You know, for me, I can't remember. Someone asked me, like, I can't remember. There was a question that was like, which of these would you get rid of? Would you get rid of Jay winning the Rumble? Would you get rid of Maxine winning the IC title? Or would you get rid of John tapping out? Like, which one would you get rid of? And it was that kind of thing. And I remember saying I wouldn't get rid of Jay winning the Rumble. It was not what I was looking for. It's not the person that I was rooting for, but I understood why they did it. I understood why they gave him a go. And it could have worked. Could have worked. You know? It was it's one of those, here's an opportunity, mate. Your numbers and the work you've done and the connection you've made says that you are a person worth investing in. And so we're going to give you this opportunity. Don't mess it up. Don't let us down. And unfortunately, I don't think he quite managed to rise to that level. That's okay. Not everyone is going to be able to do that. And I don't think he was able to do it. Whether he can learn from it and get back there again, we're going to have to wait and see. But I'm not down on us giving him the try, giving him the go. I certainly would not have had him tap out Gunther. We're still paying for that. I thought that was stupid at the time, and I think it's even stupider now that the fans are just not letting that go. So yeah, it's the J one I think is really interesting, but I'm not down on them trying it. So I think there's lots of different reasons as to why some of those runs have not worked. Some of it is we didn't build it right. Some of it is the person couldn't carry the weight of it. Some of it is the creative. But I think it's a little bit rose-tinted glasses again if we think that all the championship reigns in the past were brilliant. I mean, think about some of those world heavyweight champions. Look at Jack Swagger. Had runs with the world heavyweight championship. Jinder Mahal had a run with the WWE championship. Attitude Era, we were changing champions, like, you know, every few months. So this is not new or anything. It's not like we're doing something now that's, you know, it's just all fallen apart. I've got to tell you, there is value in the modern age in doom and gloom. There is real value in making out that everything is broken and it is the worst it's ever been. And, you know, if you do a thumbnail that says things are a bit meh, right? Then that's going to get so many views. If you do a thumbnail that says it has never been this bad, Triple H has got to be fired, here's why, that's getting more views. And we live in a world where the more extreme the viewpoint, the more exaggerated version you can present is going to get you more engagement. Be that a tweet, be that a Facebook post, be that a YouTube video, whatever it might be, the most exaggerated version gets the most attention. That's the economy we live in. And so, you know, a lot of people, I think, are under the impression that it's never been this bad. I think a lot of people are under the impression that wrestling is completely broken. It might never recover. I mean, like, a lot of us that have been watching wrestling a long time are sat here kind of going, 2019 was worse than this. And yeah, 2025 has been bad. I've said it all year. The creative sucks. I mean, I'm not changing my tune. But equally, I think we are a little more level-headed about where things are. You know, you can't say things are brilliant in 2023, 2024. Triple H is amazing. Everything's cooking. Booker of the year. All this kind of stuff. And then he has a bad 2025 and now it's a disaster. Everything just swings from one extreme to the other extreme. And it's like there is a massive area in between, right? Where it might not be sexy to say that's where things are sometimes. But most of the time, that's where things are. Kind of in the middle. More so than all these like real extreme shifts. I just think that when you get presented the extreme version of events on a regular basis, because that's what gets the most engagement, it's very easy to buy into that as being the truth. And I think that there is a degree of that goes on, a large degree of that goes on. So I don't think things are quite as bad compared to history as what they get made out. I do think that where we are right now needs improving. I do think this has been, you know, a few steps down, several steps down from where we were in 2023, 2024. I do think where we were in 2023, 2024 was about as good as it had been for, I would say, 10 years, though. I mean, if you think about 2021, 2020, 2019, 2018, you know, I mean, 2018 is like WrestleMania 34. Not anything that special. It's around that time. If you think about 2019, that's WrestleMania 35. Flipping goes, I think it's still going on. I mean, you think about those periods. I mean, 2023, 2024 blows them away. Absolutely blows them away. So we're in this weird period where we kind of had it so good. I mean, it was a real peak. It was wrestling is cyclical, and that was a real high spot that we were in. And now we've obviously come down, but it's like, if you look online, people make out like this is the end of the world. People make out like wrestling is dying and it's all over, and just pack it up, close it down, it's done. There's no need. Let's just cancel it. There's no need. It's okay. It's not that bad. There's still some stuff going on that's okay. But yes, equally in the same breath, I'm still saying it needs to do better. I'm certainly not going to sit here and, you know, criticize creative like we've done all year and now sit here and try and make out like everything's great. But I don't buy into this extreme version of things. I think that times were worse in the past, genuinely. G Doggy Dog said, for 2026, what if Triple H and HBK switch shows? Hunter not cutting the mustards. Could you imagine Triple H back on NXT, HBK running Raw and SmackDown? I genuinely don't think it makes a massive difference. I think that only one person can do so much. And so I think that it comes down to, you can switch them. And I think that there's a couple of things I would say. The first thing I would say is Triple H was loved when he was in NXT. When Triple H was in NXT, we had Black and Gold, which is still regarded as NXT's best period. What the period we're in now, I think, is very close. But I think Black and Gold, the period we're in now, feels as close to it as we've ever been. Much closer than 2.0, much closer than the pandemic, right? For me, Black and Gold finished about 2018. I actually had some concerns with it in 2019. I thought NXT was struggling a bit in 2019. And then, of course, we hit the pandemic. And it just all goes to hell in a handbasket, right? We come out of that, we do NXT 2.0, which is awful. And then it's took a bit of time to get things going with this new kind of era that we're in. But this is great. And this is like, I'm really getting some black and gold vibes again, which is great. But black and gold is still, for me, the creme de la creme. You know, Shinsuke, Finn Balor, Sammy, the Four Horsewomen, Bayley, Asuka coming in, Samoa Joe. You know, I mean, it was such an amazing time. And, you know, Triple H was getting a lot of praise. Now, he goes to the main roster, does well 2023, 2024, has a bad 2025, okay? It happens. Honeymoon period over. I don't think we need to make that switch yet. I'll be very interested to see how next year goes. But, I mean, for me, he'd built up goodwill. That goodwill is gone. Let's see if 2026 rebuilds it or if we continue going down, right? So for me, that's where I am with Triple H. But I'm looking at a guy that got a lot of praise for what he did in NXT, that's gone to the main roster and is now, in 2025, struggling. Shawn is getting a lot of praise for what he's doing. Why should I think it would be any different if Shawn then goes to the main roster? Because he's doing well in NXT, just like Triple H did. I mean, he could go to the main roster and do well, and then a few years later start struggling. I think you come in with ideas. We would all go into creative with ideas. Once you've worked through those ideas, the show keeps going. It will forever want more and more and more and more. It's going to constantly want ideas and creative. I think we could all go in and make an impression. And then once we've worked through our ideas, it will come back down. And maybe there's a degree of that that's happened with Triple H, and maybe that same thing happens with Shawn. I don't know that you can just drop someone in and just have it amazing all the time. So I'm not sold that Shawn going in makes this massive change. I think you see a boost because I think Shawn would have his own ideas, but after a few years, he's going to hit that same problem, which is you've worked through those ideas now, and now what have you got? Yeah. The other thing as well is I'm not convinced those creative teams are correct. I think that it's so hard to compare NXT to the main roster. I keep saying this. You know, the main roster, this is where you have got people that have been there a long time. You've got people that know their characters. You've got people that are over with the crowds. You've got stars that you have to accommodate. You've got to find a way of getting Roman on the show if he's available. You've got to find a way of getting Cody on the show if he's available. You've got to find a way of getting Punk on the show if he's available. You've got to. People tune in for those people. So you have to use those people, and you've got to use them in interesting ways. And you've then got people coming up from NXT that people want to see get used. So you've got to use those people as well. It's kind of squeezing the people in the middle, isn't it? Those people in the middle, they're the ones that you're having to try and juggle. Because you've got to use that new NXT talent. You've got to use those big stars. And it's those people in the middle that it's like sometimes go to catering. Sometimes I'll use them here and I'll use them there, whatever. And I think it's a different beast. You know, with NXT, people come in, they get better, they move on, and then you work with the next lot. And you're either not making the grade and you're out, or you're making the grade and you're moving on. And so there's just this constant conveyor belt of new talent, and it's just not that set up on the main roster. That's not how it works. On the main roster, it's different, isn't it? I mean, that is the final destination for people. The pressure is so much greater. You know, with NXT, you are booking a show for the CW network that gets so many viewers. For Raw, you're booking for Netflix that's being shown around the world and is a key investment for Netflix. The pressure on delivering for those partners, for ESPN, for Netflix, for USA Network, for Peacock when they were on Peacock, the pressure on that is a lot greater. You know, all of a sudden, you're not responsible for Deadline, Takeover, or Stand and Deliver. You're booking WrestleMania. You're booking SummerSlam. comparing NXT to the main roster is like comparing flipping Little League to the flipping Boston Red Sox. Do you know what I mean? It's just like you can be a manager of a Little League team, and you are a manager, but what you do is baseball related, but it is not the same as what a manager of the Boston Red Sox is doing. And I kind of feel like booking NXT is still booking a wrestling show, but it is not the same pressures or same responsibility as booking Raw and SmackDown. The idea that you can just take that person out there and put them there and it's just going to all work and it's going to be amazing, I think is a flawed logic. And we've seen it with Triple H, kind of proven that it does not quite work that way because they are so drastically different in scale and size. So I think the fact that you've got talent that are there all week as well in NXT. I mean, they live in Florida. They go to the Performance Center. Someone said the only day off they have is a Sunday. So you've got people there all the time that you can work with, give feedback to. You know, with the wrestlers, they'll show up on Monday to do Raw, do rehearsals, go through stuff. They're gone. You won't see them for a week. Like, that's it. They're done. And they don't even do house shows on a regular basis so much anymore. So that process of working with talent and feedback and all of that is nowhere near the same as like what they do in NXT. You know, NXT, they're working the same building, largely the Performance Center. Whereas with Raw, you're in a constant different building, sometimes a different country. It's so drastically different. So drastically different. I think it's a real challenge, honestly. I think it's really, really difficult. I think that Sean being this magic fix is just... You can try it, and I'm sure there would be a bump, but I think I would not be surprised if after a little while you find yourself in the exact same situation. Honestly, I've used it before and I'll use it again. It reminds me a lot of Man United managers where we keep bringing in managers, they keep struggling. Doesn't matter how amazing they are at other clubs and what clubs they have been in. We have tried, like, God knows, 10, 12 managers. All of them have struggled. And you get to the point where it's like, I don't think it's them. I think it's the club. I think things at the club are broken. I don't think the training facilities are right. I don't think the player recruitment is right. I don't think the academy is right. I don't think the coaching staff are correct. I don't think the people in charge are correct. Like, I don't think the chief executive is correct. Keep changing the manager and the results don't improve. In fact, they get worse. And the idea that you can change one person, granted an important person, and just everything's going to improve, I think the machine is too big for that. I think it's too big for that. I think that there are issues with the creative teams, and I think you really need to look in those areas. And I think there might even be issues with the producers because we're getting too many matches that are just getting good ratings. You know, and that can't be down, and not everything can be down to Triple H. He can't be responsible for all the storylines and all the match quality. I mean, like, there are other people that have to take responsibility. So the producers of the matches, the talent themselves, they've got to take some ownership on the fact that we have had a lot of underwhelming Raw and SmackDown matches this year. They've got to take responsibility for that. Because if that match quality is going to improve, I don't think you can pin all of that on Triple H. I think you do have to point the finger at the producers and at the superstars. Maybe you could say Triple H is too soft. Perhaps he's not putting them under enough pressure. Vince would keep people on their toes. Perhaps Triple H is too much of a nice guy. And maybe that is a problem. Perhaps Triple H needs to be a bit tougher. Needs to lay down the law. And actually, you know, if someone delivers a segment that's not good enough, are they being told and are they being made aware in no uncertain terms that is not the standard? And you better do better next time? I mean, I'm not looking for, workplace bullying, but like, are people getting good, honest, clear feedback? You have not met the standard, and I need you to meet the standard. Is that feedback being provided? Because there seems to be a lot of just so matches and promos that are just a bit uneventful, and whole shows that are just 6 out of 10. And it's like, who is grabbing like the roster, the creative team, the producers? Who's telling these people this is not good enough? Vince would have. I'm not saying the shows were perfect under Vince, but Vince would have done it. Well, I don't know. I think Triple H is a bit too nice, maybe. I don't know that having those conversations. And if he isn't, maybe someone else does. Maybe Bruce needs to. Someone needs to. Again, I think, though, putting everything on Triple H for a company of that size and saying that he is, if it goes well, it's all down to him. If it's not, it's all down to him. I think it's too big for that. There's more at play. So you can switch it. You can switch him with Sean, and you could try it. And I think you would see a bump. I mean, it would freshen things up, and people would be back on their toes again. And I think you would see a bump. I could believe in that. But I'll bet you anything it settles back down again. And, you might find yourself in a situation in a few years like what we've just had with 2025. King Yeti said a tip for the tip jar. Oh, is it King Yeti? I saw King. Might not be. It's Adam. It's King Notorious. I hate the fact it's still showing the ats and it's not showing your actual names. That sucks. Because King Yeti just got a shout out and he didn't deserve it. So I'm taking that back. I want everyone to know it was not King Yeti. It was King Notorious 22. It was Adam. Adam Con. Shout out to you, my friends. I've set the record straight. And I really appreciate it, but in the new year, one of my priorities, get a new chair. Get this sorted. I've spoke about it long enough. So I'm going to scrape together any bits of Christmas money that I got. I got a few bits from family and whatnot. Scraping together all the kind donations. And I'm gonna sort out a new chair. I'm gonna get my posture sorted. We're gonna go into 2026 comfortable. So Adam, I appreciate it, but I hope you had a great Christmas and a happy New Year. Happy New Year to all of you. I am getting this set up. Right, you're also going to have to just tell me when we are at commercial break. We're only 3 minutes away from the start of this. So you are going to have to tell me when we're at commercial break. Is the file there yet? No, but it will go live in 3 minutes. If you are going on to Netflix, just know that you have to click on it and then go to the episodes. It says that the next live event is on the 7th. That is true. This is a tape show. King Yeti said, shout me out, Daze. Guys, big shout out to King Yeti. I've always said so supportive and fully deserving of any and all shout outs that King Yeti receives. So King Yeti, thank you, my friend. Shout out to you, buds. Nothing but love your way. Appreciate the support. That was King Yeti, by the way. That was not King Notorious. King Notorious was before. This was King Yeti this time. We've got lots of kings in our community. So, King Yeti, thank you, my friends. That will also go. I think that just bought they're called coasters. I don't know. That's got one of the wheels. I feel like I don't honestly. I'm sure we're there. They're all thereabouts. Anything that I've had in December, it's all going into a chair. You would not believe how flipping expensive they are. Just for like a pretty normal standard one from Amazon, you're looking about £200. And that is like an Amazon one. If you want one that's going to have a bit more about it, you're probably doubling that. Office chairs are flipping so expensive. I mean, considering I use it all the time, I'd much rather just buy a decent one and that's it, you know? So that's why it's taken so... Some people are like, just buy the chair. But it's like, yeah, you can buy one that's like 100 or 200 from Amazon. Probably going to get like a couple of years out of it. I got about 2 years out of this, actually. This was Amazon. And I got about 2 years out of it. And I'm just thinking, like, it'd be better if I bought one that gave me 10 years, you know? So that's why it's taken so long. So, King Notorious, King Yeti, I'm doffing my cap in your direction. There's been some doffage. Okay, here we go. We are underway with Netflix. King Yeti said we should start a Kings Club. Got a couple of kings. We need a couple of queens, don't we? Mayor Pete said, get a gaming chair, not a regular chair. Apparently, gaming chairs are not brilliant for ergonomics. I was watching a video and they were like, gaming chairs have these things that kind of hold you in place because it's more for like racing games. So they've got like bits that kind of just like bucket seats, you know? But that doesn't really work ergonomically. So I'm trying to find like a good ergonomic chair with good lumbar support. I am desperately trying to sort my posture out. Here's Javon, right? We are in the crowds. It is Year-End Awards, by the way. I never did that video. We did a breakdown of it, though. I think we did still look at every category. I genuinely don't know what's going to win in regards to best show. Oh, hello, someone's in the entranceway. Is it Moose? It's Moose. Okay, Moose is here. Moose. He's taking on Ethan Page. That's going to be our first matchup. Let's do a poll, shall we? And we'll see if you lots, who you lot think's going to leave us champ. The fact this is opening the show is making me think maybe Ethan retains. Daze, today I had a fight with a hair clipper and I lost. Oh, James, shout out to you. Oh, I've lost to hair clippers before. I've had that classic where you are about to go on holiday and you turn the clippers on, you go like that, and then you realise you haven't put the thing on, so you've literally just shaved your head. I've done that. I've done that the day before going on holiday. Okay, Moose, the face of the franchise. Here's Ethan. Ego. Kill him with a smile. Alex, shout out to you. Alex said Moose looks like he's channeling his inner Cody with those colours and pants. I love his theme, said King Yeti. I don't like gaming chairs, said Glotness. I had one with built-in speakers, a subwoofer and lights, but it was uncomfortable. But to be honest with you, I never knew the difference because gaming chairs can be really like look really comfortable, and I know that there are a lot of people that like favor those. But I honestly, I mean, I'm trying to find like, you know, spending a bit of money. I'm trying to find like a good chair to invest in. So I've been watching these like chair channels. And just seeing what they're kind of saying. So, you know, those kind of videos that are like people recommending chairs at different price points and whatever. I've been watching stuff like that. A lot of those chairs they talk about, though, are not available in the UK. They're like in America and don't make it over here, unfortunately. Mike Rome. Doing the intro. This, of course, is for the North American Championship. Daze, you should bring back the couch, said Sean. Oh, gotta tell you, from a posture point of view, that was the worst. I didn't really know at the time because I was just sat on the edge and I wasn't really thinking about it. But as soon as I got like a proper chair with a back, I was like, oh my God, that is so much better. That is so much better. The only thing with this is it's all got a bit loose, and even when I tighten up the screws and everything, it doesn't. It's not right. I feel like things have just got loose. Moose, charging into the ring steps. I think Moose just went in the ring steps, and I think someone just went, ha ha. That's a really good thing to shout, actually, during the wrestling. If someone botches or something goes wrong for them, even if it was intentional, like how he just went into the ring steps. Imagine if you was in the front row and you're just like, ha ha. Mate, that would get so tiring so quickly. Big boot there by Ethan. Right now, Moose grabbing Ethan, kicking out Ethan. Oh, lovely kick. Netbreaker connects. Ego. And I kill him with a smile. I can tell you that NXT is 1 hour, 15 minutes, and we're going to commercial break. I've paused. Let's go. Joshua said, I was watching your older stuff the other day. You would get so much pumped up for stuff. Yeah, well, the thing was, when I was at work, right, I was so, I mean, like, when I was at work working in retail, I'd be at work doing, stocking. I loved my job. So, I mean, it was not a problem. But, like, I'd be at work and I'd be thinking, what shall I do tonight? Like, what am I going to do? Or if it was going to be my day off, I was so excited. Because I was like, man, I can't wait for tomorrow. I'm going to go to that Smith's. I'll see what they've got. I think there's new figures out, And I think the difference between them and now is now I'm here every day. I'm not thinking about I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. It's more turn the stream on, let's go, let's have conversations, and then watching the show and just, I feel like I'm just constantly in a wrestling bubble now. Whereas before I used to go to work and I used to really couldn't wait to get home to do a figure review or on my day off do a toy hunt or whatever it might be. And I think that excitement naturally came across in the video then because I was genuinely really, I'd been waiting to do it. Whereas now I don't have that. I mean, I hopefully the watch alongs are still good and the excitement of watching the show with you guys comes across. I mean, I'm enjoying this. But yeah, it was just a different time. I keep saying I really want to get some fun videos back onto the channel. And it's a goal. I keep saying it's a goal, but I got to change some stuff. I got to find a way of moving some things around and making things simpler in order for me to find time to start doing some more stuff like that. So that is my New Year's resolution. That's what I'm focused on. Have you lot got any New Year's resolutions? That's a good question. What are you lot doing? Because it is the 31st now. It's New Year's Eve. It's New Year's Eve in the UK. Have you lot got any New Year's resolutions? Tango said, is this a tape show? It is, bud, yeah. Daze, for your knowledge of music, I think it would be fun to do a video where you have wrestlers coming out to alternative themes. You could have fun with that. It would also kill me on a copyright point of view. Flame First said, no. I'm going to go to my best friend's girlfriend tomorrow. I'm going to DJ, said Alex. Oh. James said, F resolutions. I never keep them anyway. Fair. We're back. We're back from commercial break. I stopped because I don't do them or keep them, said Flame First. Yeah, to be honest, I I can't really think of when I've ever kept any. I like to try and think of one. But yeah, I mean, with this, I want to get more fun stuff on the channel. So I need to find a way of doing that. But until I found a way of doing it, I can't keep it. So, yeah. I think it's good to have some sort of target. They just said that the Best Male Award is going to be announced. Oh, Moose is all fired up here. We're doing a bit of this. Resolutions are for losers. Just be your same self, says Kader. If I have any, it's just to keep working on myself, said Alex. That's fair. Oh, Moose sent on. Kick up there by Moose. Moose looking to charge over to Ethan. Ethan with a back elbow. Moose with Ethan. And down goes Ethan. Going for the cover. Two. Shoulder up. Shoulder up by Ethan. Bang. Planted. I wonder if Tony looks at Ethan and how Ethan's doing in NXT and really sort of regret not utilising him more. Right now we got Moose is looking to... Is he going for a power bomb there on Ethan? Forearm shot coming in. My resolution is to bother Keegan for the entire 2026 until he marries me and we have our wedding in 2027. Wow. Is this pre-tape, said Sierra? Yes, it is, my friend. Yes. Chopped there by Moose. My New Year's resolution is to subtly separate myself from people who make New Year's resolutions. Respect. Clothesline. Against the ropes. Big boot. Moose against the ropes. Clothesline there by Ethan. Bang. Moose is down. Ethan going for the cover. Two. Oh, kick out by Moose. James said, my resolution is to stop being so nice. There it is. Every year we wondered if you was going to finally choose to stop being so pleasant and polite. It seems like 2026 is going to be that year. Ethan with another right hand, but Moose is getting up. I mean, those shots from Ethan don't look brilliant. You know, CM Punk getting criticism for his shots. I don't think those shots look that strong. I don't know how much WWE pushed back on that, honestly. If every time someone threw some punches, they looked a bit, like, weak. And the wrestler was told, you could soon, you know, improve them. Feels like a barricade spot. Moose has got Ethan in his sights. Into the barricades. I feel like we see barricade spots on a regular basis now. Doesn't really carry the same impact. So, there we go. Barricade goes down. Crowd are cheering away. There's a good chunk of them on their feet. Back in the ring goes Ethan. Back in the ring goes Moose. Moose charging over. Big spear there by Moose. Ethan goes down. Moose is looking for the cover. 1, 2. Foot on the rope. Foot on the rope. My resolution, said Ronnie, is to work on my YouTube channel, but my job just books me too much. They don't care about my channel, says Ronnie. It's hard to find the time. I really understand that. For the first 2 years of this channel, I was juggling work as well. So I really understand. Oh, Ethan goes down, gets out the ring. Ethan over by the ring steps. Moose is going to run round the outsides. Here's Moose coming in. Whoa! Big back body drop. Moose lands on the ring steps. Moose down. Ethan going out. That was big. Look at that. He got some height on that, didn't he? Came crashing down. You see the woman in the background. She looked like that painting. The Scream. 1, 2, Ethan. Ooh. Shoulder up, baby. Shoulder up, baby. That looked painful, said Jay. It did look painful. It did. William said, New Year's resolution, get Daze to drop the multiple restraining orders. Then I'm going to visit him. And I'm going to hold him. I'm going to rock him to sleep. Ethan gets the pin. Ethan gets the win. It's a win for All Ego. There we go. You lot called it. I did wonder if Moose had a chance. I think as soon as we saw it was the opening match, then it felt like he had less of a chance. You lot said 59% that it was going to be Ethan. I tell you what, he's done well there to actually get a win over Moose. That's a tough competitor for... I mean, it's clean as well. I mean, I know he did chuck him on ring steps, but... He hasn't cheated. Fair play. Respect. Actually, I don't even know why I'm asking the question about who's going to win, because some of you all will have seen the results. Okay, we're going to find out. Male Performer of the Year. Do we agree with it? It's the Year-End Awards. Okay, here we go. Who is Male Superstar of the Year? I feel like Javon should win it. Has he won it? Or are we seeing the nominations? I feel like he might have won it. Oh, no. Who's won it then? I think it's Oba or Javon. Who is NXT's Male Superstar of the Year? I like... This is a good show, actually. Putting these results in, it's interesting. It keeps it interesting. That was an okay match. That match was okay. And now we're following it up by finding out the Male Superstar of the Year. Yeah, Trick had a good year. Hello, how are we doing? Hello, Metal Mama. Hope you're well. Chatana said Javon has won it miles ahead. But K-Dub said Oba should get it. Akeem said it should be Trick. Here's Oba. Oba Femi. They're taking a long time with the nominations. The title belongs to me. Here we go. It's Javon, the young OG. Yeah, that was my vote. Yeah, it was sick. Did he say 2024? Let's go. Yeah. Bouncy. Okay, we got the color. I don't think you understand what we've seen out of Tatum. Okay, let's pause. I've paused. Right, Ethan versus Moose. Ethan versus Moose. Right, we are at commercial break right now, and I've paused. Daze, if WWE has Punk versus Breaker at Mania, could we see Seth cost Breaker the title? Oh, that would be interesting, wouldn't it? Because he's going to hate both. He's going to hate both, isn't he? Seth is... That would be really interesting. That would actually be a really good way of using Seth. I mean, I think Seth wants to be there and have a match. Of course he does. And I think he is desperately going to try and make it. And I think there's a good chance he will. But, imagine that. Imagine Seth coming down. And you've got CM Punk and you've got Bron Breakker. He hates both of them. And then he ends up, after everything that has happened, everything that has been said, he ends up helping CM Punk. Of course, he would come out on Monday and go, this was not about helping Punk. I still despise that man. But there was no way I was going to stand by and watch Bron Breakker win that championship. Not after what he had done. Not after his betrayal. I think that's a really good shout. I think that's really interesting. Like it. Word live scene event. I don't know how I am a few seconds ahead. I'm watching on CW. Yeah, I'm watching on Netflix. And there is no commercial breaks on Netflix. So I could just watch the whole thing and be done in an hour and 15. But I'm trying to stay in sync with you guys in America. Do we think a fun series would be the Wrestle Feud streams if you do a members section, but instead of shorts, you make them into videos, said George. Well, they're videos already. So they're already videos on the members side. So that's kind of what you get if you are a member. You get to watch them being done live, and you can go back and watch the old Wrestle Feuds. So they already exist as videos. But turning them into shorts so that they are, each question gets its own short. That makes sense. I mean, you can watch them as shorts and, just kind of work through that way. Or if you remember, you can just watch the whole episode. Is this a tape show? It is, yes. Tape show. But we read that. Do we think The Rock comes back? Oh, The Rock will be around. He's on the board, isn't he? He's on the boards. He's on the TKO board, so he'll be around again. I don't know that we'll see him in the build to WrestleMania this year or anything, but yes, at some point we will see The Rock again. If you could book the 3 stages of hell, what matches would you do? I'd probably start with a street fight, then I would do Hell in a Cell, and then I'd finish with an ambulance match. The reason why I'd do that is, or maybe a normal match. Normal match, Hell in a Cell, ambulance. I think ambulance kind of follows Hell in a Cell really well. Flame said singles, TLC, then Hell in a Cell. That works. Seth said he hated on Unreal showing him agreeing with Punk for the end of Chamber. I can understand that. They should have had the ring announcer announce the winner because the Javon segment was a bit bizarre, said Big Time. Hell in a Cell, not a last match. No, I think that you can have that match end, and then, to finish the whole thing, you've got to drag that person that you've just destroyed inside Hell in a Cell get them in the ambulance. The idea of the ambulance taking that person straight to hospital, you know, you kind of, to win the match, you're putting your opponent in the ambulance, which they're probably going to need to be in. That to me makes sense. I like ending it with an ambulance match. And you don't need to raise the cage because you can go out through the door, can't you? Right, Kendall has been attacked backstage. Okay, here's Izzy. Let's change this over. Izzy in the ring right now. Kendall attacked backstage. Oh, she's done this before, where she just talks. I find that really irritating about Izzy. Turn her mic off is the chant. I feel like her delivery is okay. I mean, she's putting some work into it. I also feel like she might be nervous because it feels like she doesn't want to stop. She just keeps going, talking, because if she stops, she's worried about, like, forgetting. She doesn't bring the crowd in at all. She's just blah 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 blah. The crowd could be doing whatever. A lot of other performers would stop, look around. Shut up. This is my time, not your time. Tatum, listen to me. There's none of that from Izzy. It's blah 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 blah. Let me get through this, please. Blah 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 blah. Don't derail me. Blah 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 blah. She did that last time as well. I don't know how no one is feeding this back to her. There's no pauses in her promos either. You look at Tatum coming out, and Tatum takes her time, lets things breathe. With Izzy, it's blah, 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 blah. She performs it as she's saying it, but it is like, let me get this out. I don't need friends like you, says Tatum. Is she going to bring out Lyra? She said, I need friends that have been with me since the start. Turn her mic off, please, says Brony. Okay, so we're building up to a match next week. I genuinely couldn't tell you what's been said in this. I feel like there's been so much just waffle in this promo. Surely it should just be, you thought you could join the Cullen and take the spotlight. I am the spotlight. Something like that, nice and simple. But instead it's like blah 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 blah. Tatum said it's not over until she says it's over. Izzy laid out. Bad segment, in my opinion. But it's NXT, and you have to understand that people are getting opportunities they don't normally get. You know, how often does Izzy get a chance to stand out there without the Cullen to actually cut a promo? Izzy talks way too much and way too fast, and I can't believe they allowed to cut that promo on a live TV. She needs a ton of work, says Brony. Yeah, I agree. What I don't understand is that's not the first time she's done that. She's done that last time. The same thing was said. She doesn't let it breathe. She doesn't slow it down. She doesn't acknowledge the crowd. It feels like promo class. You stand on stage, you cut your promo, and it doesn't matter. Like, you don't have a live crowd to really bounce off. You're just, like, delivering it in front of people. Take that, put it in front of a live studio audience that are gonna, you know, say something. You kind of got to bring them in and acknowledge them, even if you just stop what you're saying for a second and give them a dirty look and go back to it. That is a skill, though, that she's learning, isn't it? I think her delivery in regards to her inflections and the fact it's not all the same tone, like, she does vary that, but you are right. It's delivered way too quickly. It is like, I think it's nerves. I really think it's nerves. I think that it is, I know I've got to deliver this promo and I don't want to forget it. And I don't want anything to trip me up and I don't want to look stupid. So let me get out there and let me get this done. Sol Ruka and Zarya are tag team of the year. I don't know how they're tag team of the year. I don't think of them as a tag team. Okay, Fatal Influencer laughing. She says now Wren is all by herself. So Fatal Influence seemingly having attacked, struck. Okay, we are underway with another commercial break, I believe. Sean, thank you. Zarya won Summer, said Tony. Ba, 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 ba. I voted Fatal Influence, but that's okay, said Thaddeus. Adverts, thank you, my friends. Okay, Sean said the NXT crowd was going to eat Izzy alive if she paused, even to catch her breath. She does seem to be pushing out the words rather than speaking from the heart. It's absolutely fine for them to chant whatever. I mean, not acknowledging them, not just like ignoring them is not the right approach. You've got to, you've got to bring them in. You've got to make them part of the show. You've got to make them feel like they're not just watching a performance. It feels like it is scripted content that is being delivered quickly. That's how it comes across, and it can't feel that way. It's meant to feel more natural. It's meant to feel like this is being spoken in the moment. And ways of doing that is by taking a few pauses, sort of, if people are yelling at you and shouting at you, there's going to need to be times where you have to, just kind of ignore that to get your promo out, but you can't do it for the whole promo. And this is like the other week. This is like the second week that she's done that now. So I don't know. I think that there's a lot of work to be done there, but it's fine. I'm not down on it because, I mean, it needs work, and that's fine. But this is NXT, isn't it? And there's an understanding that these are people that are working on their skills. I mean, this is developmental. So clearly there needs to be some developing done. So it's fine. It's totally fine. It's part of the joy of NXT, actually, is looking and seeing, where people are and what they need to work on and, what their skill sets are like at the moment and whatnot. So that's why we love Evolve as well. We enjoy doing that with Evolve. Right. She's Bronze girlfriend, said Spawny Boy. Daze, Zarya and Soul have had ups and downs in the tag division, but one day they're gonna turn heel, said Jordan. Riley said it is what developmental's for. It's okay. There's just a bit of work needed. Do we think Tatum is a dark horse to be called up? She can hold her own on the microphone. She's got an alright moveset for her character work. She could get called up. I think she could get called up. She is, I think, someone that needs opportunity, though, because she's not really had much of a run on her own. She kind of was in that group. What was it, like Chemical X? She was in that kind of Chemical X group. And then she was sad backstage, and that's when the Cullen picked her up. So, she's not really had that opportunity to kind of work loads of singles matches, high-profile singles matches. We're doing that now with her. I would not be in a rush to move her up. I would let her cook, let her develop, Give her promo time like that. Give her high-profile PLE matches, singles matches. I feel like there's a lot that she has not got a great deal of experience doing because there was always other girls like Stephanie, Roxanne, Julia, Cora Jade, Jacy, Jayne. There was always other girls that were ahead of her in the queue, like Lola Vice, Jada Parker. I feel like now is a really good time for Tatum. So this is good. Just keep doing this for a little bit. She can go up in 2026, but I wouldn't have her as like the next wave. I wouldn't be down on her actually going up in 2027. Give her a full year of give her like another women's title run. Give her like loads of PLE matches. Give her like a really good, like, we're going to really invest in her. She's going to be one of our top women in NXT. Do that for 12 months and then bring her up early 2027. Okay, here's Fatal Influence, and we are getting a proper intro. I wonder why Lainey always approaches from the back of the ring. Jasmine always used to approach from the right. Jacy, Jayne. Okay, Jacy in the ring. We are going to our next match. It's going to be Jacy versus Wren. Wren doing her entrance, but she is obviously focused and a little distracted. I don't know if it's EY or just Y. I think it's EY, isn't it? EY versus Wren. Wren QCC. Her jacket, I think, still says NQCC. Yeah, even her graphics still say No Quarter Catch Crew. I mean, I feel like No Quarter Catch Crew is done, so we probably need to move on now. Tavian's out. Miles is out. I don't know what's going on with Charlie Dempsey. Here we are then. We are underway. Wren getting driven back. Wren is someone else we need to invest in as well. She's the next cab out of the rank. I could see, Jacy could get called up. Soul getting called up. We might move with Lola, honestly. I mean, Lola's been doing work in AAA. She's had, like, some high-profile singles matches. You know, we might be left with, like, a Tatum, Kendall, Wren. I don't know if we move with Fallon. Oh, working on the arm. And again, Kalani, Jordan Grace might go up. Jada Parker. Where is Jada, actually? Is she out injured at the moment? Don't feel like I've seen Jada in a little while. Bang, down goes Wren. Yeah, I'll be interested to see who they call up. There always seems to be one that gets called up that we don't expect, said AKF. It is true. Kiana James was that person. She went up and we wasn't expecting that. It hasn't really worked out brilliant for her, though. Boot in the face there by Jacy. Jada's just not being used. Chris said, what do we think about Sting? Love Sting. I don't know, something happened with Sting. I was very excited when he came into WWE. It was real disappointing how we ended up using him. Roll up there by Wren. 2. Wren coming over, working on the arm. Bang. Jacy. Going down, Jacy. Jacy, though, again, working on the arm there by Wren. I like the aggression from Wren. She's really throwing in those shots there. Bang, lovely. Uppercut on the arm. That was great. Jacy down. Wren with a big boot to the arm. She's been really targeting the arm. Wren grabbing the arm again. She's got to worry about the other members of Fatal Influence on the outside. Bang! That was great. Pulling on the arm. Bang! Snapping back. Yeah, I like the targeting of a joint against the ropes. Shoulder tackle going over. Bang! Lovely sell there by Jacy to kick out. Wren grabbing Jacy. Wren against the ropes. Holds on to that rope. Oh, lovely kick to the midsection. Fallon tries to swipe the legs. It's a super kick by Jacy. Love that sell by Wren. Flops out to the outsides. Jacy with a slingshot. Look, brutal. Blimey now. And there's a little bit of mocking by Fallon. That slingshot was sick, wasn't it? That was so good. Sean said, if Edge was still in the company, would he have won a World Heavyweight Championship? I am going to say no. Only because they were going to offer him a part-time deal. So he wouldn't have been around all that much. He would have just come in and he would have done part-time stuff. I think, to be honest, the reason why he left was because WWE like having him around. He's a legend and whatever. Commercial break, yep, thank you. He's a legend and we enjoy having him around, and he's, people love him, whatever, and we can definitely find stuff for him to do. But I don't think he was the focus going forwards. They know they wanted to move with Cody. They know that with Punk coming back, they were going to do some stuff with Punk. I think, they were interested in moving with Jay and Damian and Gunther. And I mean, they are sat there with rough plans as to what they're going to do for the next 6-12 months, And I just don't think Edge featured in those plans. But it's Edge. So, of course we want to keep you. So, yeah, we'll, give you a part-time deal. But he wanted full-time, and that's why he decided to go and join AEW, where they gave him a full-time contract. So with that knowledge, I think it's hard to think that we would have given him a world's title run. Whether, we could have found a way of doing it with Seth's injury or with Damian not working out and, Edge, right place, right time. There's no way of answering that. But what we can say is likelihood is probably not, because they only wanted him to have a part-time deal because there was others they wanted to focus on instead. Angel said, what happened to Edge in AEW? I know he left to do a movie, but that was months ago. I don't watch AEW, but so I don't know. I love you, Daze, but I don't like NXT as much, said for 1-2 times. No worries. Yeah, it's maybe not for everyone. I think it has had a really good year, though. It has been probably the best of the 3 brands that WWE have as their kind of, big brands. Kalani could get called up, although she might need some more promo work. She could be on SmackDown since her and Mello are together, said AKF. Made by Dawn said, to be honest, I much prefer taped than live. At least with taped, I can fast forward through the parts I don't like. Kader said, Edge probably retires in AEW. Shining Wizard said, Fallon is ready. Happy New Year's Eve, Days, said TJ. And to you, and to all of you, Happy New Year's Eve. So weird, actually. To be honest, because of the way that my family were around on the 28th, and the way that we had people around on the 25th, and we had to get ready for the 28th. So that took me out of the 27th. That week after Christmas has just flown. I mean, I can't believe that it's like Wednesday now in the UK. It's nearly a week since Christmas. Wasn't that last Thursday? It's absolutely flown. So, yeah, I can't believe it's New Year's Eve. I won't be doing anything tonight. In fact, I've got a member stream at 10 o'clock, finishes at 11. So I won't be doing anything. We're back, thank you. Don't forget as well, I need your feedback with the Wrestle Feud questions. You can find the questions in the link at the top. They are just 5-6 questions. We had 25 responses. I don't know how many responses we've got now. I'll have a look. We have had 53 responses right now. I can show you, so you know I'm not lying. 53 responses. That's what the form looks like. Boo, 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 boo. I just need some feedback on it so that I can ask the questions tomorrow. And again, you will see the results of these. They're going to get made into shorts. So that's what the form takes you to. I've had 53 responses so far, so need to try and get to 100. We're normally on like about 100, so definitely need a bit more of a push with that. All feedback greatly appreciated. Right, chop coming in there by Wren. Ooh, slaps to the boobs. Brutal. Against the ropes goes Wren. Bang. Down goes Jacy. It's quite a fiery performance, this, by Wren. I like it. Making a statement. 1, 2. Shoulder up there by Jacy. Only just, though. Because, like, I don't like those lazy covers by Wren. Back elbow there by Jacy. Jacy charging over. Looking for a backslide. Coming in. Big knee. 1, 2. Shoulder up. Only just. Jacy can't believe it. That was a lovely knee shot, though. That was brutal. That was brutal. Jacy charges over. Wren moves out the way. Another big shot coming in there by Wren. Jacy into the corner. Jacy goes down. Wren is perched. Bang! Big crossbody. 1, 2. Shoulder up. Wren going over. Is that cattle mutilation? Look at that. Look at that by Wren. That was lovely. Not a move that you see that often. Wren really showing her skill set. She's a really good wrestler. I mean, there was a reason why they added her to the No Quarter Catch crew. To No Joy. Jacy going toe-to-toe. Forearm shot. It's a really strong women's match. It's Jacy Jayne with a forearm that gets it. I thought there was some hard-hitting stuff in there. There was some really good wrestling that was in there as well. I'm sure that's a cattle mutilator. Some moves that we don't see very often. Oof. Rolling encore, she calls it. It's a go-to move for Jacy, that. Wren down. Now they're setting about. Surely that brings out Kendall. Stomping away on Wren. Here's Kendall. Kendall comes running down. Lovely super kick there. Big forearm shot. And again, laying out Fatal Influence. Looking for a German. Gets it. Duck underneath. And again, nice takeover. Working on the arm. Jacy is tapping. Jacy gets out the ring. I tell you, they've done such a good job of building her. She looks really credible. Kendall holding up that women's championship. Okay, get in your thoughts of that match. We're backstage with Joe Hendry. Okay, it's going to be the concert next. Is Booker on board with this now? Or because he wasn't before, was he? Commercial break. Jacy is kicks and punches, clotheslines, elbows, random slam. She isn't special on the mic, but they continue to shove her down our throats, says RWB. Nickel said, Kendall, that girl is tough. Poppy Croc said, Hendry getting his Elias shoes on. Nickel believes in Joe Hendry. Joseph believes. Sean says, commercial. Trini said, I filled out that questionnaire, so it's up another one now. Thank you, buds. Appreciate it. Will they finally turn on Jacy at New Year's Evil, said Dirty Hippo. I mean, she can't be too far away from the main roster. How often does Hendry practice that smile in the mirror, said K-Dub. Word Live Cena fan said, here's a good 3 stages of hell match: street fight, Hell in a Cell, and an Inferno match. James said, the show needs some more Blake Monroe. Corey, shout out to you. Hint at Henry in 2K26. That guy was wearing a 2K jumper, says Riley. K-Dub said Blake is at home. I saw her post on Insta. This is a tape show, to be honest, so they're kind of all at home at the moment. I believe Joe Hendry before believing in him was cool, said Glock Ness. Okay, we are at commercial break. When we go back, it will be the Joe Hendry concert. Who's he feuding with at the moment? Who's going to interrupt this? Because surely someone's going to be the target of this, aren't they? They need to bring back the Evil back to WWE, said for 12 times. Poppy Croc said the 3 stages of hell should be at the Rumble. Doing it on a random SmackDown makes me think Drew will win. Jacy has had a great year. She's shown improvement. And that's coming from someone that's not necessarily a Jacy fan. But I've enjoyed her double champ run, said Wrestle Rants. Nickel said Joe Hendry is fun to watch. He's feuding with Dark State, that Dark State guy, right? They'll be the victims then, won't they? It'll be, I'm guessing he'll go after Dark State. Lots of material there. Should I do a video of Ho Hensey? Says William. Sure. I think that's what the world needs. Right, okay. Good 100 is what you lot said for that last match. Good 55. Great 40. Okay. Good 100. So, seems like you lot enjoyed that. Trini said, I do think that Drew wins the title, but drops it to Cody at the Rumble or Chamber. Okay, here's Joe Hendry. Please welcome. Okay, we got the guitars. 2 guitars set up. Okay, so I think Booker's on board with it now. I wonder if Joe Hendry should come out to Booker singing his theme at one time. That would be pretty good. Imagine if Booker was in the entranceway with a microphone. Maybe he could do that at Stand and Deliver or something. He's still going! He's still going! Well, to be honest, I've got everything I need out of this segment already. Booker singing Joe Hendry's theme. So Joe's just talking about the year that he had this year, and it has been an amazing year. He's been at the Rumble. He's been at WrestleMania. He was at John's Saturday night's main event. Okay, it's going to be a song about his year, I think he said. Hendry had an insane year, said Kader. He's going off on Ethan Page. Riley said, this is low-key a good song. Oh, people have got their phones out. He's thrown shade at Ethan and Chelsea. Now he's going off on Trick. This is where Jericho should walk out with his band, says William. Joe is the new Elias. Every 5 years we get some new musical gimmick, said WrestleRants. Good thing about wrestling, you can skip most of it without missing anything, says the Ribs. Tony D is watching. Oh, is he? Where is he? Oh, you're right. There he is. Look. Yeah, Tony is up watching. People have spotted him now. I just saw a guy there, like, pointing up. Tony D. This is the hottest ticket in town. He was not missing this performance for anything. Lights go out. Is this going to be Dark State? There they are. Dark State. Dum, ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-ba-dum. I wonder if Tony's going to help Joe. Dark State attack. Kicks coming in there by Dark State. Boom. Powerbomb. Murked. No one coming to Joe's aid. Timu Retribution, says RWB. How is this group still a thing, said Porky Pig. I like Dion Lennox. In fact, I like Dark State. The members, I'm not sold on Cutler, but I like Saquon. He can talk. I like Dion. He's got a good look. I understand why they're trying to build him up. Osiris is the muscle of the group. Oh. Ava's door is open. It is Blake. She's heartbroken, isn't she? She can't sleep. You've got to make sure it's a different ref, please. If you want to win your title back, then the glamour has got to show up next week. She's very entertaining. She's just absolutely broken, isn't she? Okay, here's Tavium. Let's go. Ava got engaged to her girlfriend. It's kind of cute, said Randy. Blake's expressions are so good. Okay, Tavian is in the ring. This is the final of the Speed tournament. Okay. Tavian. Oh, pause. Tavian versus Lexis King. Where are we time-wise? Okay, we're done with an hour. We're into hour number 2. Blake's doing a watered-down, timeless Tony Storm gimmick. Yeah, I mean, what I would say, though, is that she was in that feud. So she was over in AEW doing, like, quite a performative role. So I feel like it's not quite right to say that she is just taken from Timeless Tony Storm, because she was in a feud against Tony. And it was quite a performative role that Mariah May had. And that's why we were quite excited, because she does bring that. In fact, a lot of her gimmick is based off Sabrina Carpenter. A lot of the presentation is from Sabrina Carpenter's tour. Like, there's lots of crossover. The way she comes out with the towel, her ring gear, the vignettes, the little animated characters. A lot of that has just been took from Sabrina Carpenter. So I think she is trying to do something different. She's not doing like a 1920s, 1930s like film actress type thing. But from a performative nature, you can certainly understand and see the comparisons. I like it. I like her. I think she's a good talent. And I think we need more people that can do that sort of performative side. We used to have that quite a bit in wrestling. If you think about the likes of Papa Shango, you think about Bray Wyatt, you think about The Undertaker, you think about those kind of gimmicks that required a level of performance. She's kind of bringing a sort of, I suppose it is like a glamorous Sabrina Carpenter type. I suppose it's a bit, Tiffany's kind of moved away, actually. I was going to say it's a bit like Tiffany. Tiffany had like that sort of clueless kind of character, but she's kind of moved a little bit away from that. Although she did come out of a Barbie box at WrestleMania. I've never heard of Sabrina Carpenter. Singer. Pop singer. Bewitched. Yeah, I can see the Bewitched crossover. Yeah, I can see that. Mariah May, Blake Monroe did the Tony Storm protege thing in AEW, yes. Lamel said, how great when WWE has Slammy Awards show that fan votes best memories. Would be good to do that on Raw, SmackDown. Slammys are done at WrestleMania weekend at WWE Worlds. So they do Slammies. They've done them the past couple of years. Trini said, the Blake and Tony characters seem similar because of Hollywood was once considered glamorous. But Timeless Tony is different. They're not quite the same. I think Tiffy will get a bit of a character adjustment when she comes back. I don't know. She's kind of just moved a little bit away from that. Her character is not as performative in that way. Perhaps it's because she was like face, and that character works a bit better as a heel. That sort of, daddy's girl, clueless, going shopping, putting it on my daddy's credit card, that kind of stuff. That works a lot better as a heel, doesn't it? Being so obsessed with shopping and materialistic things. We are just at commercial break at the moment, just waiting to come back. We got 50 minutes left of NXT this week. We're back. That's what the streets are saying. I've pressed play. You better be telling me the truth. We've got people just predicting who they think's going to win out of Oba and Leon. But we're getting some TNA cameos. Yes. Well, we got Stax and Ariana on screen right now. And they're smooching. There's Mike Santana. There's always been theories about alien civilizations having nuclear war on Mars. It's based on chemicals they found. I don't know how we've got on that subject. Owen Hart is the greatest Slammy Award winner ever. He made it hilarious. Yes. Okay, well, this is quite long, isn't it? Now they're talking to Hank and Tank. Daze, that conversation is just for Sunny, says Trini. Okay. Thank you. Okay, people can't quite agree on who's going to win this. Okay. Ober Leon, New Year's Evil, NXT Championship match. Is that next week? Well, I don't even know when New Year's Evil is. Here's Lexis King. Owen is the best. I've got my autographed picture of Owen in my collection, said Joseph. That match is going to bang, said Wrestle Rants. Sonny said, Daze, I told them I had an astral projection traveling back in time when there was nuclear war on Mars. Okay, here's Lexis. Okay, this speed matchup, so it's not going to take long. I think it's still only 3 minutes, isn't it, for this final? It's only the championship matches that go 5. Sleazeboy said Cena should have retired at SummerSlam, where not only he takes off his shoes, but his jorts as well. And he sings Summer Winds naked in an empty arena. Oh, Tavian wins in 10 seconds. What the flip? What the flip? What the flip? Tavian Heights gets the win. Tavian against Jasper Troy. Look, belly, like a belly to belly. Oh, it was lovely as well. Eight seconds. Alexis is like, we're meant to lock up. There's Jasper Troy. Well, there we go. I said this will only take a few minutes. Didn't even do that. Jasper Troy comes out with that Speed Championship. Year-End Awards. Match of the year. I think it'll be this. I think it'll be that. I don't think it'll be that. No. I think that's where we get the... yeah. Mystery person attack. The build for that was huge. Do you remember? With all those vignettes for Lola. I think it'll be the triple threat. That's what I would have voted for. I never got around to voting. This was good, though. Iron Survivor Challenge, the women's with the shot winner. That was good. And recency bias is going to help this as well. Obviously, a match that people have just watched that was a banger stands a good chance. Winner is... It's the triple threat. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair. Okay, we are backstage with Ricky. He's in action in a bit. He's taking on Javon. That's going to be our main event tonight. Ricky closes the door. Swipe right. Oh my God, let's go. Yes. Here is Vanity Projects. We've seen Swipe Right on NXT before. In a really good tag match, actually. I don't know who they're taking on here. They're definitely ready for NXT Swipe Right. Jackson Drake is with them. And, you know, the longer he's holding that title, the more that he's going up in my estimation. He's a good-looking guy. You can see why they are getting behind him. Okay, it's OTM. Are these guys babyface? I thought these were heels. So, OTM getting in there with Swipe Right. Great team, Swipe Right. OTM, there's OTM chants from the crowd. The crowd are with OTM here. OTM probably need the win here, don't they? Because, I mean, Swipe Right just are not... They're evolved talents. Okay. Kick coming in there by Brad Baylor. Duck underneath. Another kick there by Brad. Brad backing up in the corner. Tag being made. Smoke's coming in. Brad Baylor, I like the concern on his face there. Brad gets hurled in the corner. Shot coming in. Ah, big shot. Brad Baylor, some lovely selling. I just cannot help but look at Brad Baylor and see Shawn Michaels. I just can't. Every time I look at him, I just see a young Rockers Shawn Michaels. That would make Ricky Smokes Marty Jannetty. Clothesline. Humble Rumble said, I think more wrestlers should have music from real artists instead of Def Rebel. That would be cool. Like CM Punk. I like Drew and Roman too, says Humble Rumble. It's money in it. You got to pay for the rights. You'll never have ownership of it. And you've got to pay lots of money to get the rights for it. So WWE, for the amount of music that they need, they just prefer to pay to have someone just making like theme after theme after theme. It hits a bit better when it's a proper song and a proper musician, but financially I don't think they would want to spend the amount of money it would cost to have loads of people having actual music. Tag being made. Shot coming into the midsection. pin to kick out. Against the ropes. Knee to the midsection. Oh, big stomp. 1, 2. Ricky Smoke's getting in there, making the save. Oh, okay. Now Jackson getting involved. He gets thrown in the ring. I love it, man. Scooped up. Oh. Bronco. DDT there by Brad Baylor. Going for the cover. 1. No. Again, shot coming in by Brad Baylor. Unloading here on Bronco. I love the facial expressions of Brad Baylor. Always, like, if he does it and he's really concerned, like, he really does a great job of communicating. Just with his facial expressions. If he's in pain or he's worried or... Kick coming in there by Ricky Smokes. Tag being made. Drop kick there by Ricky Smokes. Down goes Lucian. Big splash there by Brad. 2. Shoulder up. It's quick tags. Fast work. Outside interference. That's how they're overcoming the size difference. Yeah, Brad Baylor. Arms outstretched. Little swipe right gesture as well. Oof. Trying to go over clothesline. And again. Bang, down. Oh! Lovely chop coming in. Forearm shot. Jackson Drake is in. Gets planted down. Referee's got to get him out of there. Yeah, referee's got to get him out of there. The pace of the match, though, is still going on. And this feels like it might be the beginning of the end. Baylor, super kick, down. Ricky Smokes, planted. OTM, 1, 2, 3. Get the win. That's fine. Nothing mind-blowing. It was fine. It is a win for OTM. 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 They're over with the crowds. I don't remember anything they've done to get over, but they are over. I still think the women's match, the Wren Jacy match, was the best match we've seen so far. OTM versus Swipe Right, but bright future for both teams. Okay, we're backstage. There's Jordan and Thea. I would love it if he was in my corner. Look at Thea. Jordan says, I don't really like this hugging thing. Okay, NXT female suit's got to be Jacy in it. After the year she's had. Bang. Pause. Daze, you're way ahead. Well, I've paused. The NXT female superstar thing is after the commercial break. I think you need to redesign the studio. Put the show screen next to the chat so that we can see the urgent messages on being in sync. Put the show screen next to the chat. I don't know what you mean. Oh, are you saying that I've skipped a commercial break, have I? Has there been a commercial break that just passed me by? You've missed a chat. You might need to pause for a while. Oh, right. I have no idea where that was. Normally we get a black screen and it's quite obvious. Got you. Well, I've paused anyway. That match has ended. We just had a Thea Hale segment. Now we have got female superstar of the year. So it was quite obvious that was a commercial break. So I'll wait there for a while. Right. We're in the OTM match at the moment. Got you. Jim Gore says Soul. Soul is the pick for you. I'm leaning Jacy. I think she's had an incredible year. What with getting that title from Stephanie and having the run that she's had, I think she's risen to that level. Love seeing folks lose it. Who are the little kids? Says Real Russ. You was out to sing. Everyone was letting you know, but you wasn't watching the chat. Yes, fine. I can't do everything. That's the issue with the tape shows. So, you know, if it's not going to be as obvious that we're at a commercial break, then it might get missed. I am thinking of a baseball player, says William. Soul or Jacy, but I just can't split them, says Daryl. I think Soul is going to win it, says Bonkers. I'm the female superstar of the year, says Corey. I haven't had any commercials on Netflix. No, there aren't any. The whole file on Netflix is like an hour and 15 minutes. So that's why we have to like manually pause to stay in sync with America. Trini said, what was your match of the year? I don't know, honestly. I think there was some incredible matches this year in NXT. I don't think mine would have been that triple threat. There was some brilliant ones from Madison Square Garden when we first went there. I think the Iron Survivor matches I really enjoyed as well. I don't know if there was any cheeky little sleeper matches, though, that I'm just sort of forgetting. But I think there was some good stuff, but I don't know what, like, I don't know what the match was. I do look at a lot of the nominations, and I'm like, There was one that was nominated that was Soul and Kalani, and I remember watching that and not being impressed. I remember it being just like move. There was no interaction with the crowds. It just felt like they were in their own bubble. And I remember just kind of coming away from it. And I think you can show like a good highlight package of it because you know what Sol Ruka can do. But I don't know, we see that a lot. You know, we've seen loads of Soul Snatchers. We've seen loads of her flipping to the outside. I sort of felt as a match it didn't quite work. It didn't quite click. But because of there being so many eye-catching moves in there, it got nominated. So actually, some of the nominations I didn't even think were that good, match-wise. So, yeah, I thought the triple threat would get nominated. There was, what was it? Was it Ethan Javon from Madison Square Garden? I remember that being a really good match. Some people might go Oba Moose as well as being like a match that they really enjoyed. I'm surprised there was no mention of Julia Stephanie. They faced off a couple of times. But yeah, I think it's really hard to kind of pin down that one match, you know. We're at adverts. Was Stephanie Julia this year, yeah. I don't think all of their matches were this year, but that was this year. Javon Leon, Bound for Glory. I don't know if that counts, though, because it's in TNA, isn't it? But, I mean, it definitely deserves a shout because that was an absolute banger until, as you rightfully said, Dark State ruined it. Canada has got USA Network. Collision airs on that, says Jim. Carmen is here. Come on, let's go. Hello, everyone, says Carmen. Title versus title was my match of the year, says Randy. What do we think about Stacks? A little bit lost. That's my opinion. I don't think we really see too many in-ring promos from him. I don't think we get too many singles matches. He was the underboss. I think it was right that he turned on Tony, but that whole situation seems to have gone a bit flat. And now he's just kind of doing something with Ariana Grace, so he seems a bit lost to me. James said, Night Daze, Happy New Year. See you for SmackDown. See you there, James. Happy New Year. I like Tony Ober. Was that this year? Was that last year? You have to let me know when we're back from this commercial break. Have we got a top 3 main roster PLEs? Well, Evolution would be number 1. Elimination Chamber probably at 2. I don't know if SummerSlam gets in there. Both the main events of SummerSlam were really good. Some of the undercard matches were decent. There's some bad stuff in there as well, though. Solo and Jacob Steel Cage was not very good. I didn't think the way we used Roman was very good. But, I mean, maybe you go Rumble, honestly. I mean, everyone loves the Rumble. That adds some good moments in it. I wouldn't go WrestleMania, and I certainly wouldn't go Survivor Series. Yeah, it might have to be that. Evolution, Elimination Chamber, Royal Rumble. Randy said Mania Night 1. You've still got Gunther tapping, which really bugged me. I don't mind him losing, but I flipping hated him tapping. That put me in a bad mood. That was the very first match on the first day, I believe. Main event of that was good, though. Javon, Bound for Glory, Io, Rhea, Evolution, Triple Threat at WrestleMania, men's or women's. That would be my top 3. They're all bangers. Bangers. Okay, we got 28 minutes. 28 minutes left to go. That I Show Speed Spear by Brom. Yeah, it was good. Alexa coming back as well. That was in the Rumble. End of adverts. We're back. Here we go. Here we go. NXT Year-End Awards. Kalani Jordan. Oh, she won't get the votes. Solruka. She would be my number 2 pick for this. Tatum. I feel like Tatum's year has got really good towards the end. With, Halloween Havoc, with that title win, the Cullen turning on her. But the year as a whole, I don't think we kind of fully utilised her. I think she's a work in progress, Blake. Jacy. Okay, so who gets it? Soul gets it. I'm not down on that. Yeah, I mean, double champion, but one of them was the Speed Championship. Okay. New Year's Evil next Tuesday. Tatum Paxley against Izzy Dame. So that's going down next week. Randy, shout out to you, buds. Carmen said, did you have a great Christmas? Yeah, it was fine. Good. I hope you did as well, but... Stone said Soul's speech sounded like she was justifying why she won. Thea Hale, Blake Monroe. Yeah. I wonder what they're going to do with that. Do they change it back or do they keep going with Thea? Your boy is bouncy. Let's go. Main event. Ah. Okay, OTM. Swipe right. Okay, comes out good 89. So people weren't blown away by that. I thought it was fine. Javon against Ricky Saints. Okay, adverts. Jacy needs to use that in a promo, saying that she was robbed after the year that she had and she is still underrated. Well, I think that is a little bit of the downside with having the fans vote, because most people are probably going to go Soul because she's a babyface and they like her, and that plays a part, right? Jacy is a heel. People don't like her as much because she's a heel. She, attacks people backstage and all that stuff. I mean, like, this is where it can be, a little bit unfair towards heels. So, it's one of those. I mean, yeah, you're right. She should use it. It'll give us some material, won't it? Daze, take care. See you tomorrow for the member stream. See you tomorrow, buds. Kieran, shout out to you. Javon Stick said 412. Is that sucks? JC needs to use that in a promo. Tatum versus Izzy. Chainsaw on a pole match. Loser loses a hand, said Randy. Let's go. Carmen said, I celebrated with my parents, my sister and her boyfriend at my sister and her boyfriend's house, Indiana, and at my home in Hammond with my parents on Christmas Day. Lovely. It's all about family, isn't it? Honestly, JC and Soul were like neck and neck. Both had banging 2025s, said WrestleRants. I hope they keep going with Thea, said Joseph. Yeah, I'd kind of like that as well. I mean, if they've got some massive planned for Blake, like a big feud that needs the belt, I can understand them going back, but I don't know. I think we're going down a road we was not expecting to go down. I think the more exciting option for me is to keep going down that road, see where it goes. I kind of like Blake crashing out as well. Daze, if you was booking Cody Drew with 3 stipulations, what would you pick without any restrictions? Well, I think that I like the ambulance match because we don't get it very often. I would really want to see, I mean, like, Falls Count Anywhere, Last Man Standing. I feel like I see those. Street Fight, I feel like I see that on a regular basis. So, you know, Hell in a Cell we don't get that often. We probably get like a few a year. I think that's not a bad one. Ambulance match I kind of really like. I'm not down on the Inferno match, but I just don't know that if it's going to play much of a part in the contest. You know, it's hard to know what you can do with an Inferno match. All you can do is wrestle and then occasionally just have the flame shoot up, you know? I think I'd want to see some stuff we don't normally see. So that's why I was kind of leaning like ambulance match, Hell in a Cell being one of them. I think people would enjoy. I think that's kind of seen as the ultimate. And then I don't know what you started with. I mean, you might just want to ease in with a normal match. That's why I was asked this earlier, and I was like, I might go normal just to get the ball rolling, then take it to the next level with Hell in a Cell to, you know, have that come down. So you've just had a normal match, but now it's time to introduce weapons and the cell, and then wrap it off with, you know, now you've got to get your opponent in the ambulance to win. And then, you know, the ambulance can drive off straight to hospital and the winner is the winner. Those three kind of feel like they go together quite nicely. They flow together quite nicely. The problem is if you start with like a street fight and then you do Hell in a Cell, it's a bit similar, isn't it? I mean, a street fight's going to have weapons. So I feel like they're going to kind of be a bit similar. So it's kind of hard to find like 3 different match types in it. Okay, I've got this one underway. This is our main event. There's no money in this. This is just a fight. Chop coming in. Ricky Saints versus the Young OG. If Jericho does return next week, who would we have him confront? Honestly, I've not thought about it. I mean, I feel like he needs to have someone that he can go up against that's got the ability to carry the match. He needs someone that's got some experience. I don't have much confidence that Jericho is going to be able to be that ring general at his age. But equally, you don't want him losing that first match, do you? So I was kind of saying like someone like The Miz would not be a bad shout because The Miz can carry the match, is safe. He's not going to cause injury to Jericho. He can talk. He's a good talker. Match quality wise, I think, you know, Miz is not a very exciting option, but he, for a first match, is beatable. Jericho comes in. He can, you know, verbally go toe-to-toe with The Miz. They can have a match. Miz can carry the match. Jericho can win. So it doesn't have to be The Miz, but someone like The Miz that can tick the boxes that I've just mentioned, that kind of makes sense to me. Anyone that can sort of, that's got experience, that can lead the dance, that's a heel, that can lose the match. So that would be, I would be trying to keep it, I'd be trying to keep it quite simple, to be honest. I mean, honestly, they might even bring him in and just put him in a tag thing for a bit, or have him do some segments first. I don't know that we're going to go straight into, he might come in and like go in the Rumble, you know, and do some talk show segments and then go in the Rumble rather than like straight into a feud. So the question is, who do you have him go up against for WrestleMania? Could be a good opinions video. Ricky going up. Is an Alistair Damien an ambulance match? Yeah, it is. Which might stop you from doing the ambulance match in the 3 stages of hell. But honestly, I got asked this question before that was announced as an ambulance match, and I said ambulance match. And then they've gone and used it in that, which is disappointing. We never get ambulance matches, and now all of a sudden they've decided to do one on SmackDown. Just as I think it would make sense to have one of the stages of the CM Punk be an ambulance match. Jericho against Seth would be nice for Mania. Or if Seth can make it. And plus also Seth would be a face, wouldn't he, when he comes back? And I think he would want to go after the Vision. I don't think we would have Jericho be a heel. Dominic could maybe carry, he's got some experience. Maybe we're at the point with Dominic where he could carry the weight of the match. I'm not saying that's what we do straight away, but Intercontinental title involved. Jericho's kind of known with that belt. I could see Dominic being a pick. Ricky getting in. Dave's my favorite WWE moment was AJ Styles and Dragon Lee against Usos, where Usos won the title from last match. Well, that was your favorite moment of the year. Usos winning the title last night. I'd love to see Jericho and Owens resurrect their thing, said Daz. That would be great. Young OG goes flying through the air, lands on Ricky, throws him back in the ring. Ricky to the outsides. Javon to the outsides. Coming round and grabbing Ricky, throwing him into the barricades. Smashing him into the commentary table. Javon is throwing shots down. Pop, 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 pop. Javon unloading on Ricky. It's an interesting matchup, this, isn't it? I mean, Ricky's only just turned heel. Young OG. Oh, look at that. Ricky down. Javon to shoulder up. Only just. Ambulance match might be too much these days. Renting a vehicle and stuff for the night is costly, said Joseph. I mean, TKO makes so much money. They can absolutely afford it. They're already doing it for Alistair and Damien. I think the bigger problem is, do you want to do it so close when you're doing it already? What, is he going to use that middle bit? What's he doing with that? I don't even know what he's going to do. Oh, we've gone to commercial break. I don't know what he was teasing there. He was kicking the underside of the ring like he was going to smash Javon into it, but we've gone to commercial. So, I don't know. I don't know what he did during commercial. Benny said, all I wanted for Christmas was another Carmen live update. And I got it. Let's effing go. Yes. They've got Saudi blood money to pay for stuff like that, says RWB. AKF said, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think both people in the match pick a stipulation. The GM picks a stipulation. I don't think I've seen a 3 stages of hell match. They're very rare, but they're very, very rare. So how we're going to actually do that, I'm not sure. I mean, I'm sure I have seen it where people have picked a stipulation before, yeah. I don't think it's that one person picks all 3, although I might have seen that as well, actually. Don't know, it's been so long since we've seen a 3 stages of hell. I mean, it is just 3 different matches put together. It's not as exciting as it sounds, to be honest. It sounds way more exciting than it actually is. It's just 3 matches with 3 stipulations. One might be a singles match, one might be a street fight, one might be a cage match. It could be an ambulance match. It could be a Hell in a Cell. It could be a submission match. It could be a summit on a pole match. It could be whatever, right? It's just 3 of those in a row. How they're going to come up with that, I'm not sure. It could be that they just pick one each and then, as you said, the GM picks. It could be that Drew picks all 3. Don't know. Not sure how they're going to go about it. I don't know when we're going to find out. Maybe Friday we'll get some movement on that. Maybe they'll keep it a surprise. Maybe they should have us choose Why don't they do that? Why can't we vote? WrestleDandy said, Daze, this could be Javon's last match in NXT. Could be, but could be. Big Time said, I'm genuinely surprised Jacy didn't win. You watched the video package and it was believable, but I guess fans vote for their favourites. So maybe it's not rigged. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Joseph said, ambulance match is with PLE. They haven't done it in over a decade. Even though they've already had an ambulance on site, they're required to have one available for an actual emergency, said Joseph. The best 3 stages of Hell match that I saw, said Jared, was Triple H and Austin. Going back. Days, I know it won't happen, but it would be cool to see a Buried Alive match between Cody and Drew. Bring back Cyber Sunday, said Poppy Crocs. Yeah, I think people have always kind of called for that to return. Days, they got a new Cactus Jack Ultimate figure coming out with a head from him lying down from the first time from Mattel when he debuted and beat Triple H. It's really cool. And after June, there'll be no more Mick Foley figures. Yeah, that's true, isn't it? That is true, because he's done with WWE, isn't he? End of adverts. Okay, this will probably be our final segment now, won't it? We got 9 minutes left to go. 9 minutes left to go. Young OG. Young OG. Okay. Oh, lovely suplex there by Javon. Javon down, Ricky down. It's worth mentioning Javon is wearing his t-shirt. Kevin Nash is going to be livid. Javon going over. Bang! Superman punch there by the young OG. This boy is bouncy. 1, 2. Kick out by Ricky. Bit early for it to be finishing, so... they can just rig Cyber Sunday if the voting turned out with stupid matches, says Poppy Crocs. Right now. Here we go. We're 6-7 in. We're 6-7 in. I don't even know what this means. We're 6-7 in. Oh, it means that you get kicked in the face, apparently. That's what it means. It means you get absolutely booted in the face. Javon, bang, DDT, big knee, going for the cover, 1, 2, shoulder up, Javon looking frustrated. Yeah, what do I have to do? Javon is going to the outsides, Ricky is down. Young OG climbing up, is perched, is ready. Big splash, knees up there by Ricky. Ricky grabbing a hold of Javon. Double underhooks. Oh, lovely, into a power bomb. 2. Oh, shoulder up. Shoulder up. Daze, you remember the match between Undertaker Kane Buried Alive? Yeah. It's an Undertaker type match, isn't it? He had quite a few Buried Alives. Ricky on the outside. Maybe you could do it. I'm trying to think who you could do it with now. I mean, I think the Drew Cody thing would be interesting, but if you was going to do it now, I think Howdy would make a lot of sense. Howdy Solo could be buried alive. Look at that by Javon. Suicide dive like a bullet out of a gun. Perched bit. Look at that. Frog splash there by Javon. Kick out there by Ricky. Poof. You say he landed the frog splash picture perfect, but he seems to be in a bit of pain. Goes over, middle rope. Ricky managing to get the advantage, using the ropes to cheat, but the ref spots it. For 12 time, shout out to you. Cody will probably pick like a bull rope match. Nick could pick some at Tame, and Drew will probably keep his secret till the day of said AKF. 1, 2, Ricky. Shoulder up there by Javon. Ricky has got Javon into a DDT. Spiked it. 1. Just a 1 count. Look at that look by Ricky. That's got the crowd fired up. Crowd are chanting Young OG. I absolutely flipping spiked him. Young OG. Young OG. Big boot there by Ricky. Young OG is up, lands on the feet. Against the ropes goes Ricky. Oh! Cutter there by the Young OG. Oh, why did he lay out the ref? I sort of feel like as he was in the air, look back, he surely could see that was the referee. It wasn't like a last minute push in the way. Well, the Young OG lays out the ref. I think there's some questions to be answered there, to be honest. I don't see how you can deliver that move and not know it's the ref. It wasn't like Ricky swapped them like last second. Another referee has come down just as Javon gets planted and Ricky gets the win. Ricky beats Javon. Makes sense. I mean, Javon's leaving NXT soon, and as Wrestle with Andy said, maybe this is his last match. I'm not crazy about that ref spot. I mean, Ricky barely does anything. Ricky just sort of gets up and, like, just grabs the trouser leg of the ref. He didn't, like, drastically move him in the way or anything. Ricky gets the win. Javon moves on. The world still turns. Bum, 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 bum. New Year's Evil. That's going to be good. God, next Monday's going to be good with Raw. Next Tuesday's going to be good with New Year's Evil. It's all going down next week. Let's go. Liam said, I think it would be good to have a normal match to start. Then go Falls Count Anywhere. And then do TLC. We don't get TLC matches that much anymore. That's true. That's true. The ref spot was a bit odd. Javon looked straight at the ref when he jumped. Perhaps he just wanted to lay out that ref before he left NXT. Perhaps he's like got this like issue with a ref that he's just like, you know what? I'm going to use this as an opportunity to murk that guy. I'll just make it seem like I was trying to go for Ricky. Okay, Ricky, celebrate him. Bum, ba-dum. So is that how we're closing out the year with Ricky celebrating? It is. It is. Ricky standing tall is how we close out the year. WWE in 2025 is all done and dusted. It is. That was it, guys. That was 2025. We officially say goodbye to it now, don't we? The next show that we've got, there's no Evolve on Wednesday. So the next stream that we've got, like public stream, obviously we've got member streams, but the next public stream we've got is going to be SmackDown, and that is 2026. So we do say goodbye to 2025. You will not be missed. 2025. 2026, we do need you to be better. Although I think we can agree that NXT didn't have a bad 2025, actually. NXT was a bit of a shining light for us when, like, Raw, SmackDown was a bit of a struggle. NXT was kind of there for us. So, yeah, you know, more of the same, really, from NXT. I think next year might be a little challenging at times because it feels like they are about to lose a lot of talent. I think a lot of talent could be leaving NXT, and that's going to put a real strain on things. So let's get the poll done, shall we, for our main event. And then I'm going to run away and I need to get an unseen done. Don't know when it will be up and out, but I do need to get an unseen done. If you've not voted yet in the questionnaire, you can quickly do that as well before we go. Link has been at the top. Daze, don't say that. You'll hurt 2025's feelings. Well, 2025 hurt my feelings. So I'm quite happy to fire some shots back. Thank you, Daze, for everything you've done for the community wrestling fan. Shout out to you. But Big Tony K said, you know I'm a fair guy. I'm going to give this show -2. One of NXT's better shows. Stay tuned for tomorrow's real show, said Big Tony K. Well, me and the majority of others won't be watching, but I wish you all the very best. And all I can say is that NXT had a very good year, and hopefully we can get more of the same. But as I said, I do think next year is going to be a bit challenging. There's going to need to be a little bit of rebuilding. But I think we've got some good talent coming through. For a tape show, I thought the crowd was quite lively. It was a solid offering. It wasn't mind-blowing, but it was a fun show, says Big Time Baxter. Yeah, score-wise, I don't know what I'd give it. Probably 6.5, something like that. It's fine. There wasn't really anything of note, was there? Can't think of anything really that happened that's like, oh, you need to watch this. I actually really enjoyed Jacy against... I really enjoyed Jacy against Wren. Main event was great. That was fine. I think I might have still preferred Jacy and Wren, though. Honestly. I don't think there's much between those two matches. But they were both good. It was always good seeing Swipe Right. I like the year-end awards dotted throughout the show. Blake Monroe backstage was fun. Yeah, you know. But if you missed it, as long as you tune in next week for New Year's Evil, I think you're fine. So, a little bit of a setup for next week. Okay, get your votes in because I'm going to end this poll very soon so I can start working on Unseen. Daze, how wild the NXT TNA Showdown episode was 3 months ago. How wild that I didn't even consider that for any match of the year or show of the year. Or everyone is wishing everyone a happy new year. Yes, I would like to do that as well. Hasib said, did you see the England T20 World Cup squads? I did, yes. I mean, I don't know what our chances are like. I know we're not favourites. I think India are favourites again. I I think as long as we give a good showing, I'll be pleased. Obviously, I'd like to see us win it, but I'm not really going in with that as an expectation. Days, my 3 favourite ARW Pro events were Back to the Legion at Lake Station, Black and Blue Wednesday, and History, Heritage, and Headlocks. History, Heritage, and Headlocks. It was a great show. Great show. A lot of people are still talking about that one, but... right, here we go. Let's get our main event score. You lot said it was... Ooh, very, 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 very close. It's... Yeah, okay. I feel like we're on the same page. You lot have said that was good 95, but it was really flipping close to great. Really close. So I feel like that's a little deceptive. I feel like it's been well received. So Ricky gets the win, and that is NXT. Right, I'm going to run away and start working on Unseen. I don't know when it'll be out. It's going to take me ages. I've got days worth of stuff to catch up with. So, but it'll be out. We'll get it done. That's my focus. Get that sorted. Get caught up. We are back with a members stream tomorrow. I'm using this week to just clear everything out, get my emails up to date, get my, things sorted, get caught up, because next week, next Monday, it is go. Next Tuesday with New Year's Evil, it is go. So it's about kind of Christmas done, New Year's done. Let's get going. So yeah, good, exciting. Have a great New Year's Eve wherever you are. Yeah, that's it for 2025. Next time I see you will be in 2026. Thanks for watching.